celebrations, school projects, and, well, many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 75th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Type it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings training camp is underway. Frankie Cardicelli and Brennan Nunez have been out at Golden One Center covering camp, and you can read all their news and notes from training camp at SactownSports.com. In football, the New England Patriots have acquired big money free agent J.C. Jackson from the Chargers in a trade for a late-round pick swap. And in baseball, it's day 2 of the wild card round. The Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays, Milwaukee Brewers, and Miami Marlins need a win today, or else they will be eliminated from the playoffs. Reminder, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Now let's get started here. We got Stiles and Watkins right here on Sactown Sports.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We are here. Yes. Stiles and Watkins, day 2.
Day 2.
Got you from 10 until 2. And we got some Kings, more disrespect because that's just what happens.
Doesn't stop.
We got some Niners talk. We have more sound from Media Day. We're going to talk about a guy that we haven't talked enough about, and his name is Keegan Murray. We're doing his comps, and we're doing what his ceiling is. But I begin with saying hello to my new friend, Chris Watkins. How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing? How'd Sacramento treat you last night?
It treated me well.
Good.
It treated me well. Like I said, I was just around the downtown area.
Yeah.
I was at that Holiday Inn, which basically splits Old Town and downtown. Right. So I got to do both.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was hobbling a little bit by then, but I got through both, and Old Town was nice. And then I went over to Morton's and saw everybody already in Kings gear. And I'll tell you what, I've never been to a Kings game in Sacramento, but on a random day like this, it was definitely easy to see how poppin' this place probably is when a game is going down.
It gets crazy. I mean, like when for game 1 and game 2, which we talked about yesterday and have talked about since it happened, like I keep saying it was Kings Cella.
Yeah.
Like it was Kings fans from wall to wall.
Right.
And I've never seen that many people in Kings attire in like a concentrated area. It gets ridiculous over there. What'd you think of Doco in general? I mean, I thought
whole
it was
area
great.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So for me, I have a 5-month-old, right? So my whole thing is I was confused trying to figure out if I just haven't been in these streets for a while or if it was kind of lit out here on a Tuesday. So I think it was a little bit of both because, there are a good amount of people out enjoying themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
It was good stuff, man. It was good stuff. And now I'm starting to think when you look at other teams and other fan bases, the comparison is different because most teams, most cities, they have multiple teams to celebrate, right? In terms of baseball, football, and basketball. Most of them have all three, right?
Sometimes even hockey, too.
And hockey as well. Weirdly enough, I'm sitting there yesterday at Morton's, and the two people on both sides of me, I got confused for a second. I'm still getting used, the Sacramento Republic. I'm getting used to the Sacramento teams, and both people on the left and right of me both say that hockey is their number one. So now I'm thinking, does Sacramento have a hockey team? And the woman on the left said she loves the Washington Capitals, and the woman on the right loved the Las Vegas Knights. So it was a very random situation. But I'm thinking, is there a Sacramento hockey team? I'm Googling it on my phone under the table. Is there a hockey team as well?
There's a team up in Stockton, but I I've never heard anyone in my life say like, hey, let's make a trek out to Stockton and go watch some. I don't even know what the team is.
Well, I did go to a San Jose Barracudas game.
Okay.
And it's cheap.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't really know hockey that well, it's still pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
So, and I would say, well, it was AHL or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've done the Sharks. Sharks was great as well. If you get over there, I mean, we literally, I'm not trying to sound cheap here, but had the last seats, right? The last seats in the building, and you could see everything.
Yeah.
There's no issues.
Yeah.
It's basically the opposite of football.
Right. What is it? The SAP Center? Is
Yeah,
that what
the
it's still
SAP
called?
Center.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, like it's a really, really nice venue. I've seen a couple concerts there. I've been to a Sharks game there.
Mhm.
It's one of my favorite venues I guess you can kind of consider that in the area, but
Yeah.
I really do appreciate SAP Center.
So when we compare Sac and the love for the Kings, off the top of your head, I'm trying to think of other cities in a similar situation.
I mean, like there's always Portland gets compared here a lot because they, all they have is the Blazers. They now have, I believe the Thorns is their women's national soccer team, National Soccer League team.
Sure.
I think they also have the Timbers as well. So they have, some of the not top 3 sports, but it's really tough. I mean, Oklahoma City's been put in a similar situation where there's not much going on there. You could argue they have college football at least.
Right.
It's really, I mean, it's really unique. If I'm not mistaken, actually, like in terms of market size, Sacramento is the biggest market to only have one major professional sports team.
Wow.
So it's pretty rare to be in a situation like what we're in here.
Technically, I guess you could put Oakland there. But
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're not going to have any teams coming up pretty soon. They're just going to have the Roots.
Technically, it would be. And I heard Roots.
I hear the Roots are fun. I hear those are really
too.
fun. Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into it. You brought this up to me. We were talking last night, and the Ringer drops their preseason NBA power rankings.
Yep.
And you're going through, you're seeing, okay, basically makes sense. You see where the teams are at, obviously. No surprise, the Nuggets number 1, Celtics, all that. But then you're looking for the Kings, and you got to keep scrolling.
Right.
And you're scrolling a little bit longer than you think you should be scrolling. And to all the listeners out here who haven't checked it out, the Kings you guessed it, or you probably didn't guess it, number 13.
Yeah. Almost pretty much in the middle of the league. I mean, there's 30 NBA teams, 15 would obviously be in the middle. Kings 13, like that just it doesn't feel right. And then even when you look at the teams that are directly above them, KOC, Kevin O'Connor has the Pelicans and the Knicks above the Kings.
It's wild.
I don't see, maybe like again, for the Pelicans, we talked about them yesterday. If Zion's healthy, if Brandon Ingram's healthy, then maybe
there should be
There
should be an if tier.
Yes, there really should. And that should be where the Clippers are. Right. You can have the Pelicans in there. But to me, for the Kings to be at 13, and I'm trying to not be a homer on this, but it doesn't make sense to me. This is a team that was, whether you feel like it was justified or not, they were the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. They bring back all the same guys. I'm trying to keep a level head about it, but it feels completely wrong.
So he has them broken up into tiers. So I'm going to go through the tiers and we'll discuss where the Kings are. So first, you have the long game. Fans of these teams should embrace themselves for a season. So basically, the teams that are in tank mode, right? So you have the long game, and then as you get a little bit further down, you have the blow it up candidates, basically teams that they're not really sure what they're doing, but obviously they're not contending.
Like in purgatory.
Exactly. Then you have the on the rise category, as you can imagine. You got the Nets in there, teams like that. You have the wild cards, right? These teams are enigmas with the talent to soar and or the volatility to implode. Fans should be prepared for their seasons to go in either direction. And that is where, the Hawks are. Next, you have Young and Hungry, and that is where he has the Kings. The Young and Hungry teams, the Thunder at 15, the Cavs at 14, the Kings at 13, the Pelicans, as you said, at 12, the Knicks at 11. And then after that, you have another category calling them the fragile contenders. So he doesn't even think they are fragile contenders, with number 10 being the Sixers. And I don't get the Sixers thing.
I don't either.
I don't
get it. I don't think they're contenders this year. I mean, even if, let's just say, whatever, some miracle happens, and I'm getting reports before the show started that James Harden's reported to Philadelphia 76ers training camp. So let's assume for whatever reason that gets patched over and James is happy. Even then, I don't know if I consider the Sixers contenders, because of I just don't believe that James Harden's going to give it his all this year, regardless of whether or not, if on the surface it's okay and he's going to play for them. I can't see that situation from a chemistry perspective working out.
Has anybody seen James Harden? I mean, last time I saw him, wasn't he buying Bun B's burgers, or I don't know what he was doing. I don't trust him. But even if we take it back to the West, you have the knocking on the door category, and that's where they have the Grizzlies at 7, the Warriors at 6, the Lakers at 5. That's fine. And after that is the S tier, the Suns, the Bucks, the Celtics, the Nuggets. I don't understand how a team that took the Warriors, who they have at 6, to game 7 with a top 10 player in the history of the game, is under all of these other teams. Yeah, I mean, to me, if you're going to put them in a category, the knocking on the door seems like the perfect one to put them in. Sure, you don't have to have them at the top end of that, but yeah, have them as the first team mentioned in the knocking on the door, because to me, that's exactly what the Kings are. I mean, if they can remain healthy, I think that they very much are knocking on the door of being a real contender in this league. We were talking about it yesterday, that second leap. No one ever really sees that coming, and I think the Kings are primed more than, or just as primed as a team like the Grizzlies at this point. Like, I don't know why I think you can make an argument for the Kings being about to take another step in the same way that you can make the Grizzlies, the Warriors, the Lakers, all the same. I mean, to me, all those teams are bunched up in a category together. I don't understand the East Coast thing, the Eastern Conference thing, fine, whatever. The Grizzlies is the one to me that doesn't make very much sense. Yeah. Ja Morant's not even going to play the first 25 games. Yeah, he can practice, and I know there was that stretch. They play really well without Ja. Where is Ja? I don't get it, man. No, I don't understand. And they don't have Tyus Jones anymore either. They don't have Tyus Jones, who was part of the reason they were able to. Now they did go out and get Marcus Smart, and maybe Derrick Rose can turn back the clock. And at this point, he's turning back a couple clocks now. Exactly. I mean, we just talked about his age. So yeah, it's a rough one. But the other side of this is, if you are a Kings fan, this is what you like. Yes, absolutely. And this is what you're used to. And you enjoy it, and I think the Kings also enjoy it because they know that they have something else to prove. Absolutely, yeah. We asked Malik Monk about it on Media Day, and he pretty much said, like, yeah, we hear it. We understand that people still don't believe in us, and I think, to your point, I really think they like it. I think they enjoy having that chip on their shoulder, still being considered the underdog, because frankly, I mean, this team does still have a lot that they need to accomplish, and it's good that they don't have a sense of complacency, because that's really what can end up doing a team in. If yesterday we talked about teams that got close to getting over that hump and getting to that second leap but never made it. A big part of that is because these teams will make the playoffs and then feel like, all right, we're in the playoffs. Now we're going to be in the playoffs for the foreseeable future. Yeah. And it just doesn't work out like that. You have to have the same hunger, and you have to attack the season in the same way every single year. Nothing, like, truth, it's a cliche, but nothing is earned or nothing is given in the NBA. You have to go out and earn it all. Yeah, specifically in the Western Conference, when every single night there's going to be somebody that thinks that they can win a championship, right? Whether it's true or not doesn't really matter, but they think it, and they have the horses to do it. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, if the Kings are going to make that leap, it's going to be about De'Aaron Fox. So I'm going to ask Chris how many guards he would take ahead of De'Aaron Fox. That's up next. All that and more. Watkins and Stiles here on Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like Certainty Landmark Pro, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through November, purchase Certainty through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $750. Beacon, always building.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win. Unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion, persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
We are back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins, talking all things Kings and all things Kings disrespect. And will the disrespect end? You know, it might be interesting if the disrespect does end.
Yeah.
How Sacramento would react, right? Let's say the Kings win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, boy.
They win the whole thing, and you are no longer the underdog.
Yeah.
Right? At some point, you'd probably feel a little bit uncomfortable. You'd be happy, but also, I don't really know how to act. I don't really know how to behave. I mean, the Warriors dealt with it in a different way because the Warriors had a really long drought.
Right.
And they were the jokes of the NBA, and now all of a sudden, Warrior fans are Warrior fans, and they are what they are. But there is a bit of transition period where it's, hey, we can't really complain about not being respected. What happens when you do get respected? But unfortunately for the Kings, that day isn't today, at least not according to the Ringer and Kevin O'Connor.
I think it's a constant process, to your point of like readjusting what your expectations should be for your team. And I think we're going through that even now in Sacramento to a different level. Like, you know, yesterday was obviously the first day of training camp, and hearing some of the questions from the reporters, you can hear that they still kind of ask questions like they're expecting the bottom to fall out a little. Like yesterday, someone asked, I'm not trying to call anyone out or anything, but it was like, you know, JaVale McGee was talking, and he was like, there's a couple things that weren't clicking, but for the most part, it was a good day of practice, especially for day one. And someone asked him, like, is that normal? Like, is that or is that like is that a bad sign, or is that a good sign on for how the team on day one? And it's like, just that question is, to me, how I interpreted it was, okay, like, are you saying that this is a different, like, is this different than what normally happens, or is this just normal? And I think that, just learning, even the media is learning still, like, how to adjust your expectations for what's happening. And I think it's an ongoing process.
Right. And it's a process that I think everybody enjoys, because you remember not too long ago when things weren't going great. And I mean, you had to deal with the big trade with Sabonis and, hey, is this going to work? Who lost? Who won? And honestly, and I know you guys probably talked about it ad nauseum, it was one of the most even trades, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I think both teams got what they needed. And I think De'Aaron Fox is now able to take that step. So I think it worked out for everyone. So let's talk De'Aaron Fox.
Let's do it.
And let's talk where he ranks, right? We were talking about this a lot in the green room in the pre-show, and there's just a group of guards that I think we are trying to decide, are you going to take that next step or not, right? And if you've taken, and there are multiple steps to take, but when you talk about superstardom and, dare I say, the face of the NBA, all that is up for grabs if you think about it. So I'm going to say some names, and you tell me if you would take De'Aaron Fox over this person.
Is this if we're starting a new franchise, or are we saying for the 2023-24
this coming season?
Okay.
This coming season.
So then, like, guys like Dame and Steph are a little bit more in play.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. D'Angelo Russell.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Never in my life.
Chris Paul.
No. Maybe a couple years ago.
No,
I mean, it's where Chris Paul's at now. I mean,
can we get Thunder Chris Paul?
No, can't do it.
Then
that's definitely more of a
machine.
Conversation, but even that's, I'm still gonna take my young guy.
They're calling Josh Giddey a point guard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like he's a playmaker. I would say no. I would still say no, but we're starting to get more towards the area where, it's kind of pick your style that you like. But I think most people would definitely still take De'Aaron.
Drew Holiday.
No, I would still take De'Aaron, but obviously Drew brings some things that are pretty enticing. And, you could argue that, you definitely lose a good amount of De'Aaron's speed and some other things that De'Aaron can bring. But, Drew Holiday also has his winning traits as well.
Yes.
It's getting close. We're getting closer.
We're getting warmer here.
Yeah.
Darius Garland.
Still getting warmer, but still not quite there. I really like Darius Garland, but I'm not quite there to say after what and this is also like De'Aaron Fox played absolutely incredibly last year, and there's no reason to think that he won't, be on the rise next year. So
Right.
I'll still take De'Aaron. But that one's getting close too.
Jamal Murray.
Woo!
Don't do it, Chris. Don't do it.
Cut whatever he says.
For injury reasons, I will say no. But Jamal Murray does give a different element that I think would be interesting to see. Like the fact that he could shoot and still run the pick and roll pretty effectively with Domas it'd be an interesting wrinkle to add to this offense.
De'Aaron can shoot that thing too, though.
He can. He's getting better. He's definitely getting better. 100% he's getting better, but it's still not quite where you would want it to be, to where it's like, you saw in the Warriors series, they're still giving him that shot. I think he took like 9 threes a game in that playoffs. Right. It's because they're letting him shoot the ball. And, he did hit a good amount of them, but you'd still like him to be a lot more towards that 37, 38, 40% from three. And he's more towards the 34, 35%.
Can I say something real quick?
Please.
Because as pretty as people love, and we'll get into baseball a little bit later.
Yeah.
The lefty baseball swing.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that people love watching lefties do. People don't like Tua as much, I think, because he's lefty.
Sure. Yeah.
And as a lefty, obviously, I feel some type of way. And I think it kind of happens with basketball, too.
I love lefty basketball shots.
Think?
I personally do, but I don't know how a lot of people feel. I've always felt like lefties are a cheat code in basketball. Everything looks so smooth from lefties.
Because I don't know. I feel like people think it looks awkward sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Sometimes it can look really well. I think it's just like it's the mirrored element. It's the fact that it just looks something about it when you look at it on first glance, it just looks off. And I think, I don't know, some people have I personally have an appreciation for it. I just feel like lefties always have more touch. And I just think for whatever reason, the jump shot just looks perfect. It looks so smooth and so connected.
So you like De'Aaron's jump shot. You just want it to go in more.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right. I can rock with that.
Yeah.
Kyrie.
No, I can't deal with that volatility off the floor. On the floor, he's a wizard, and it's tough to not on the floor just put my blinders on and just say yes. But you can't sign up for having Kyrie Irving on your basketball team. You
can't, and that's why the Mavs. I have no clue what to do with the Mavs.
No clue, no idea, because it could work out. Like it really could work out, and they could be very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
But there's no real track record to show that Kyrie Irving will be stable. There's no reason to think that, he's going to put all his antics aside and, play basketball. And that's been a real problem these past couple of years, is he has not been playing basketball.
I'm just going to call the Mavs Team House of Highlights or Team Bleacher Report.
For sure.
Because Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, Sports Center are just gonna be drooling over whatever they do.
Yep.
It's just empty calories. That's what the Mavericks are to me.
Team ISO.
Exactly. Hashtag Team ISO. Street ball. Okay, we're gonna do the slip the slip and slide, the back to Papa. We're gonna do all those things. We're not gonna win very many games. Off the Yeezys. All right, Jalen Brunson.
No, I like Jalen Brunson a lot. He's a really solid player, but I definitely don't think he's even touching De'Aaron Fox. We're getting colder. I think we're getting colder. I personally don't love Jalen Brunson's game.
Okay.
I like his game, but I don't.
I gotta do it.
I think I know where this one's going.
Tyrese Halliburton.
I'm still taking De'Aaron over him. I like Tyrese. I actually don't love Tyrese as much as a lot of fans do, but or Kings fans do, I should say. I still think De'Aaron Fox is Tyrese is proven to be a better playmaker. I mean, I think he was at 8 or 9 assists per game last year. He's a phenomenal playmaker. He can also shoot better than De'Aaron can at the moment.
It is an ugly shot, though.
It's about as ugly as it gets. I've never seen somebody make the NBA and have a push shot like they're in like 4th grade or something. But it works for him.
It reminds me of Sean Marion.
It is it's a little. Marion's was just really quick.
Marion's was just 2-hand.
Yeah. Tyrese is a little bit more out, but it is still as disgusting as Sean Marion's. I'll still take De'Aaron just because he's just so explosive, and from a scoring perspective, I trust De'Aaron way more than I trust Tyrese to get a bucket.
Yeah,
but we're getting close. Obviously, I mean those two are again kind of pick your style there.
Yeah, and well, the thing too is passing wise, I really don't know. I guess you would think that it's Halliburton as far as passing because of what he does, and he puts up these crazy numbers. But if you put De'Aaron in that system, I think he might be able to pass as much as Tyrese and
if
just
he's truly
the
focal point, and it's like any and everything is running through De'Aaron. Yeah, I could see him putting up 25 and 10.
It's just crazy to me that Tyrese Halliburton is on the verge of being a perennial all-star in this league.
Yep.
And if he walked into the Y and you saw him shoot, you'd say, oh, we're good here. He would actually give me buckets because I just wouldn't be convinced that he's actually a good shooter.
Like we were talking about yesterday, he would have been somebody who leave him out there. Let him shoot. Let him shoot.
He's with us.
Yeah.
We're good out there. We're good out there. Trae Young.
No, I hate Trae Young's defense. Obviously, his offense is ridiculous, but I'm still taking De'Aaron just for the size and defensive potential.
We will finish this list.
Okay. I feel like we're getting close.
We are.
We're getting close.
It's about to get spicy. You're not going to want to miss it. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Wednesday spotlights a clear and cool morning start. For the afternoon, expect temperatures to warm up. We'll be under sunny skies with light north winds and highs in the upper 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pi customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pi Insurance.
We heard about Pi Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pi a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pi.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pi. Or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
If you're a business owner, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton invites you to see their selection of Sprinter vans. And purchasing a Mercedes Sprinter is a very smart business decision because Sprinters qualify for a generous IRS Section 179 tax deduction. You can save thousands in tax savings. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, a short drive from Sacramento right off I-5. Sales, service, and a huge selection of Mercedes Sprinter vans. See our inventory at mbofstockton.com.
Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Restaurants in Roseville and Sacramento, and our newest restaurant, Bennett's West Side Grill at Rockland's Blue Oak Town Center on Lone Tree Boulevard. We believe in serving the freshest handcrafted foods in a warm, convivial setting. We feature prime seafood and hand-cut steaks, and we have a great wine list with 60 selections by the glass from just $12. Come on in and let us treat you like family and enjoy our wide selection of prime seafood and steak. Having a meeting or large group dinner? Our newest restaurant in Rockland features 3 different size event spaces for large group gatherings. 80 guests, not a problem. Bennett's Kitchen Bar and Market, Eureka and Lead Hill Road in Roseville, and Bennett's American Cooking on Fair Oaks and Howe in Sacramento, and our brand new Bennett's Westside Grill, Rockland's Blue Oak Town Center on Lone Tree Boulevard. Come let us put a smile on your face and enjoy all our hospitality. Find us on the web at bennettsrestaurants.com. Eat well, stay well, and remember, Bennett's is where you'll always receive a hospitable welcome.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings training camp is underway. Frankie Cardicelli and Brennan Nunez have been out at Golden One Center covering camp. You can read all their news and notes at SactownSports.com. In football, the New England Patriots have acquired big money free agent J.C. Jackson from the Chargers in a trade for late round pick swaps. And in baseball, it's day 2 of the MLB wildcard round. The Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays, Milwaukee Brewers, and Miami Marlins all need a win today, or else they will be eliminated. Those are your headlines. Let's return to more of Stiles and Watkins here on Sactown Sports.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins, taking you all the way up to 2 p.m. We're talking De'Aaron Fox, swipe the Fox. And as Chris said, the fastest player in the league?
Yes, I think so. If it's not him, Kyle, you got any suggestions? If it's not De'Aaron Fox, who's the fastest player in the NBA?
Ja Morant?
Yeah. That's like where, maybe like you use De'Aaron's fastest, Ja's most explosive.
Right.
Oh, if we're doing most explosive, I'll throw Ant Edwards in there.
Absolutely.
No, just speed.
Just speed.
Just speed. I think it's got to be Ja or De'Aaron.
Yeah.
You know
coast to coast. Used to be John Wall.
John Wall. And I thought it was Westbrook for a little bit.
For sure.
You know, Those are also guys that never had to learn how to shoot because they were just faster than everyone.
You could also maybe say Giannis, but not necessarily for speed, but just it takes him 4 steps.
Right.
To get
Some Usain Bolt type stuff going on. So Swipe the Fox is ranked 8th on this Hoop Hypes list. And I am going through the list and asking Chris which point guards he would take over De'Aaron. And it was starting to get spicy before the break.
It's getting close.
And we're going to keep it Tapatio.
Okay.
As we're moving forward.
Is that supposed to be spicy or is that still mid? This is more telling of your spice level.
It's not. No, it's just a good flavor.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it spicy.
Okay, good.
Well, that's same with sriracha. Sriracha's not spicy.
Not spicy.
If somebody said, I do the chili garlic sauce.
Yeah.
I go with the
every time.
I go with the hard stuff.
Yes.
So sriracha is your D'Angelo Russell. That's what I'm hearing. It's not that spicy.
No, it's like Taco Bell mild sauce.
Right.
D'Angelo Russell.
Right. And you know what? I might have to redo this because it's definitely going to be spicier than Tapatio.
Yeah.
So let me just say the fire sauce at Taco Bell.
There we go.
How about that?
Okay, we're getting there.
All right, so let's do it. Damian Lillard.
Oh, okay. I think I have to concede here. And this is just because Dame is, we all know what Dame is. Dame's ability to shoot, you still have the health questions, but the dude has been 30 points or near 30 points per game for pretty much the past, 5 to 8 years of his career. And then, De'Aaron Fox obviously has his clutch thing. Damian Lillard's pretty good in the clutch too.
Right.
So I would probably have to give the advantage to Dame there just for the shooting.
It
mainly.
probably is Dame, but again, he puts it up.
He does.
And that's what he's there to do.
Yep.
It's, you know what's funny to me? It's funny how certain point guards get that stigma of not a real point guard, but some point guards don't.
Right.
I've never heard anybody say Damian Lillard's not a real point guard.
Right.
But Damian Lillard does not run any offense. He has never ran any offense.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many assists he really has averaged throughout his career.
Around 6, if I had to guess.
But nobody comes down his road about not being a traditional point guard.
But then Steph, it's like it's the main cover. It's like, oh no, he's really actually a shooting guard when you really think about it.
I prefer my point guards to pass
to
first.
pass the ball. Yeah, exactly. Initiate offense.
Initiate the offense. Ja Morant.
See, this is I don't know if you know or not, this is a really hot button argument. And it has been really since Ja entered the league.
Okay.
The Ja versus De'Aaron and how they stack up. I'm taking De'Aaron, even still. I think that besides just like highlight plays, I don't think there's anything on the basketball floor that Ja Morant does that De'Aaron can't.
Well, I'm taking De'Aaron until Ja learns how to shoot. Because you talked about De'Aaron not being able to shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. I did not mean it like that.
Yeah.
I get it now. I get it now. So I'm taking De'Aaron until Ja develops a better jump shot. There you go. So
shooter.
Because even still with what you said about De'Aaron, I think that he's still a better shooter than
I would say so.
Ja.
Yeah, I would say so. And if not, it's a wash, if anything.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. Ja gets the Draymond treatment sometimes.
He does. Yeah.
He'll hit you, he'll burn you on it sometimes, but
Ja also is a lot more, to your point, he's a lot more reckless with he doesn't pick his spots on where he's going to take the three. He kind of shoots them like he's Damian Lillard, and it's like, nah, man, you're a lot more like De'Aaron Fox.
Well, it's an ego thing.
Absolutely.
And if somebody's going to disrespect me, I'm going to prove
to
you.
You're going to give me space?
Right,
okay.
Right. I'm putting it up. And as the saying goes, you're open for a reason.
Exactly.
So, yeah, the thing about Ja for me is, and even just specifically on the court, the recklessness.
Yes.
We've seen this before. The Derrick Rose comes, who's now on his team. And maybe Derrick Rose will say, hey, man, you might want to chill. I'll never forget when the Heat were in the finals before the one that they won before LeBron. And Dwayne Wade was the Flash. We were just talking about fastest players.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade was literally nicknamed the Flash. And Dwayne Wade said, Michael Jordan called him and said, you got to stay off the ground. And Dwayne Wade didn't stay off the ground. And Dwayne Wade had a shorter lived career than he should have. And he was nowhere near as athletic as Ja. I think Russell Westbrook was able to power through. He didn't really have any injuries.
He's a freak, though. That's
why.
Exactly.
Like, so
no one's built like Russell Westbrook.
And he'll tell you that himself.
Yeah.
So I worry about Ja's ability to stay.
Sure.
And he's already had some injuries. I mean, he's trying to dunk on people. It's all fine and good. But some of the things he tries to do, he's so young and athletic now. He just says, I'll jump in the air and I'll figure it out later.
Literally. And you can see that calculation happening sometimes in real time where he goes vertical. He literally will go straight up in the air. And then he's like, okay, we just met chest to chest. Let me, reverse here. Let me just try and keep ascending. It's crazy. And I agree. Like that to me it's a negative. Like, it leads to a lot of highlights and a lot of, Ja Morant leads the league in the missed dunks highlights where it's like he misses dunks. But even then it's like, if that would have gone in, it would have been the greatest dunk of the past 40 years.
Yeah.
But it's honestly a negative. I would say it's a net negative for his game because of, like you're saying, like it's unfortunate to say, but he's going to get hurt. It's inevitable. Like if you cannot play in the style that you do and not have your body at some point give out on you. Like we saw it with Derrick Rose. It wasn't some terrible, he gets bumped in the middle of the air and then lands awkwardly. Derrick Rose was just driving the lane, tried to take off, and his body just gave out on him. It's going to happen if he continues to play the way he does. And I do hope that, and I heard Derrick Rose on Media Day say, part of the reason I'm here is to tell him essentially that, like, pick and choose your spots. You don't have to play like this all of the time. And so, to put a bow on it, I think that De'Aaron he's a little bit better in the mental side of basketball than where Ja is right now. I mean, obviously physically, Kyle mentioned Anthony Edwards. He's probably the only other person who can match up athletically with Ja, but he's got to figure out where to really where to pick his spots, essentially. I mean,
and I'm going to be a little corny here, and I just really like how De'Aaron Fox carries himself.
Yeah, 100%.
And if I'm talking about a leader of a team and a leader of other men that are supposed to fall in line.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox, the way he goes about his business, the way he stays out of trouble, right? Yeah. And that's not even a dig at Ja because there's other point guards and other players that do as well. I think that's part of it. I mean, your star player is as close as you're going to get in basketball to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. And I would use it the same way. You need somebody that is going to, one, galvanize the troops when you need them to,
right.
But two, make sure, hey, when things aren't going well, you just come back to me, right? And I'm taking your Steph Curry comp again for De'Aaron. I think that he has that it factor that I would like if I were a coach or a GM. And if I were a player, I would say, I'll play for this guy. Ja, I'll go party with him. You know what I mean? I'll go back to downtown Sacramento and hang out. But if I'm trying to win a basketball game and win a championship, as of right now Ja could mature and a lot of different things, I'd have to take De'Aaron Fox. Ja Morant, to me, is the equivalent of a running quarterback. And how,
I like that.
I don't know if it's Lamar Jackson or who enter whatever, Josh Allen, whoever you want to enter. And it's just this idea of you better win while he's young because it ain't going to be like this for that long. Not like this. Right. Not like this. And it shouldn't be. All right. Next, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I mean, I would love to say De'Aaron here, but I have to give respect to Shai. What Shai did last year, 30 points per game, first team All-NBA. I got to give the nod to Shai. I like De'Aaron. Again, if we're talking about pick and style, I think I like De'Aaron's style a little bit more, but just the efficiency, the productivity, the fact that Shai was able to elevate that Oklahoma City team to, making the play. Like, I think I got to go with Shai here. I really, really love De'Aaron, and I think that he's his game, and I think that these guys are probably going to be neck and neck for the foreseeable future. But after the season he had last year, I got to give the slightest of advantages to SGA.
I think that first leap that we've spoken about, with the Kings took, with the Grizzlies took as well, I think that's going to be the Thunder this year. They're young, they're hungry. I think Chet Holmgren, he's
going to be nice.
I think he's going to be nice. And he's heard all the chatter. He could be, because he could be Rookie of the Year because he didn't play.
Definitely could be.
So I think that's a team.
I think they're a playoff team.
I
don't think they're a play-in team. I think they're making top 6 seed in the Western Conference.
They're going to be more than just annoying. All right. Got to get to a break. We have 2 more names to go through when we get back, and we're going to see if Chris, how loyal he is to his soil. All that and more when we get back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
For 75 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and, well, many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 75th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We are back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins comparing De'Aaron Fox to other point guards, and it's getting real spicy here. Real quick on the YouTube chat, we were talking about spice meters. MC Cal CM says Trader Joe's sriracha is epic.
There's no way it's not.
And also Tiger sauce is sweetly spicy. You know, it's interesting how sriracha, it's like tissue versus Kleenex, right? Because sriracha is the set ingredients, but different srirachas taste differently.
Yes, exactly. Right. And like so sriracha, when I think of sriracha, is obviously like that chili bottle, you know, the red bottle with the green top. Right. And everyone knows that. But apparently, like you're saying, so it's a sauce, like it is a style of sauce that now has become like you're saying, like Kleenex, where it's like, this is sriracha sauce made by
they're different.
Trader, and it's like, no, well, then it's not sriracha. It's just their chili, whatever.
Right. But I do believe everyone can use the name because I've seen the name. Everyone can use the name for sure. But yeah, you could get that. You could get the traditional sriracha.
Yeah.
You could get one from Trader Joe's, and you can get a packet, right, from Pan Express or whatever. Yeah. And all three will taste different.
Yes. Oh, gotcha. I hear what you're saying.
All three will taste different.
Yeah. It's like when you have a soda from a can, a bottle, and then, I don't know, whatever a third alternative is. Yeah, and they'll all taste completely different.
Well, no, I don't know if I'm saying because of the packaging. I do think that how they make it, something is different with all of them.
Oh.
There's only one.
Yeah, there's only one that's like,
top,
that's
the one.
That's the quality one. See, I haven't really been that exploratory with my sriracha. Like,
clearly,
I really only go. Yeah, I know. I mean, I trust that Trader Joe's is bomb. Like, I've never had anything bad from Trader Joe's, so I would expect it to be bomb. But I've never really, I've never explored this. Now that's definitely going to have to be something.
Well, it wasn't on purpose.
I'm going to pay a lot of attention to.
It wasn't on purpose. Where I'm at, there's a Safeway right next to a Trader Joe's, and the Safeway was out.
Oh,
they were out. So we just got the sriracha one from Trader Joe's, and I said, you know what, this is different.
Yeah,
I'm not. It's not bad. It's just different. It's just different. All right, we got two more names, and you know this is a tough one. There's age involved with one of them, but also he is who he is. And this next one, I'm gonna get on. I did my gripe with the Brock stars yesterday with the Brock Purdy fans, and I got a gripe for this one. But first, let's go to that bad man, Steph Curry.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we saw in that game 7 just how valuable it is to have Steph Curry. And like it's not directly the Kings had De'Aaron Fox and the Warriors had Steph Curry, and it was that simple. It was just the fact that Steph Curry is better than 98, 99% of everybody else in the NBA, and you got to take him. I mean, for that exact, like that game 7 is checkmate. Like that's game point match. That's everything that you need to see to understand why having Steph Curry on your team is the right move pretty much over everybody else in the entire world.
Well, it also told me that when they won Game 7, I was pretty sure they weren't getting past the next round. Because you don't want that Herculean effort from Steph that early.
In the first round.
You don't
want to go 7 and require 50 to escape a Game 7.
That's not the recipe for success. I think it was more of, I mean, really, Steph and the Warriors, since they've been good, the Kings haven't been a factor for a lot of it. And I think Steph just kind of felt like, we can go down. We've gone down to LeBron before. But I cannot go down to the Kings because to me, that would really start the conference. You lose to LeBron.
Gosh. Can you imagine the offseason talk if the Warriors would have lost to the Kings? It's over.
You're washed.
And that's what it felt like in real time. It was, maybe it's because I've been watching a lot of like Planet Earth recently, but it felt like, Lions that are, they feel like their territory is being like their backs are against the wall. And that was the response of like a wounded animal almost. It was, hey, we have to show what we still got and why we should still be feared. Even though we might not look like the killers that we once were, we need to show that we're not vulnerable still, even though it ultimately showed that it was a sign of weakness that they struggled to get through that series. But to me, that was just that was a great player, all-time great player, putting it upon himself to, like you're saying, just say, hey, this is not how we're going to go down. This is not how the Warriors dynasty ends, is with the Sacramento Kings, a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 16 years, taking down a juggernaut.
It can't happen.
It can't.
It
wouldn't have made sense.
No.
Even Hollywood would be like, that's ridiculous.
Well, it's interesting because from my point of view, I was always wondering, well, would it be worse to lose to the Kings or to the Lakers?
Right.
Because of the whole
The
Steph
noise of
LeBron
all that,
thing.
yeah.
I guess you're convincing me that it would be the Kings.
Yeah.
And in part, no offense to the Warriors, but you've lost to LeBron before, so
it's not the biggest deal.
We've done it before.
They tried to build that up like it was, okay, this is going to be Steph LeBron part whatever 5 or whatever, and it's like, this is not the same. These guys are not the same guys. These teams are not the same teams. And
didn't Lonnie Walker have
stakes.
like 15 points in a quarter of one of those?
Lonnie
games?
Walker
like,
shut that series.
That was
down.
a weird series.
That was a really weird series. And in a weird way, LeBron had his moments, but he kind of got carried a little bit. I mean, every time.
that was AD just
it was AD.
Uncontrollable.
It was AD.
The Warriors had no answer for it.
Every time the Warriors tried to get rolling, some random dude just started hooping. Right? I mean, it didn't, whether it was
somebody
Lonnie,
else. Did Schroeder have a game? Or
Schroeder had
a game.
Reeves definitely had one.
Reeves had a couple
D'Angelo
moments.
Russell decides.
Oh, that's right. He had that first
cook.
half. Rui Hachimura. That's what it was.
That guy couldn't miss all playoffs.
He couldn't. No, he could not miss.
All right, last one.
Here we go. It's time.
It's time.
I'm going to concede my time here. Luka Doncic. I'm sorry. I love De'Aaron. I wish Luka's jersey were in this room. I'm going to have to take Luka.
Wow.
I am.
I'm not saying Luka's better. I'm saying I don't really enjoy Luka.
Yes.
I don't enjoy how he plays.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy how much he whines.
Yep.
I just, again, leader, right? I think if we were putting the different categories, Luka is probably winning in most of them.
Mm-hmm.
You give De'Aaron speed, you give De'Aaron a couple of different things, but leadership-wise, it's De'Aaron all day.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's De'Aaron all day. I think that the Mavs do not know what Luka needs.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone through, he had multiple guys, right? He had Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
Okay. He had Jalen Brunson.
He did.
Now he has Kyrie.
Right.
They're on Shark Tank, and Mark Cuban is just trying to figure out what does Luka need. And I think ultimately what it is Luka Ball ain't gonna win.
Yes, exactly. To me, that's the biggest thing is Luka needs somebody else next. Luka needs someone he respects next to him. And I think he respects Kyrie to an extent, but I think he needs somebody of his caliber to kind of essentially he needs the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
He cannot have the ball in his hands nearly as much as what he does right now, because to your point, it's not aesthetically pleasing. And I don't think it's good for his teammates to just stand in the corner and hope that he passes them the ball.
Right. And then you're ice cold because you haven't gotten the ball. Then when
No
you don't
rhythm.
expect the ball,
Exactly.
you get the ball.
Right.
So it's probably Luka, right?
Just from a talent perspective, absolutely. But he's definitely got his problems. He's not a perfect player. His stats are out of control, out of this world. But when you watch him play, you can see there's a reason why he still hasn't ultimately found, as much success as I think somebody who puts up the numbers he does should have.
Right. So because of that, I understand the pick, but I wouldn't be upset at anyone who would say, you know what? I like De'Aaron Fox enough that if I put the right pieces around him, De'Aaron might need more.
So that's the thing, right?
Than Luka. Yeah. But if you're talking about a franchise guy, you're talking about a guy that you can look at as an example.
Right.
I got De'Aaron.
It's like, to that point, it's like if you're doing a 2K fantasy draft or something and you have the first pick, Luka's staring at you, and it's like, I could go Luka here, or I could do what I would say is the more valuable thing and go with a Giannis, because it's going to be okay if you have De'Aaron in the second or third round as your pick.
Right.
Because it's just not that big of a drop off. And De'Aaron, like you're saying, kind of brings some other things that you might not get if you take, yes, you get the talent of Luka, but you don't get all the intangible stuff, all the stuff that isn't, dominating on the basketball floor.
De'Aaron's got the speed, though.
He's got the speed, and he's, he does have a shot. It's just not a 3-point shot. His mid-range game is maybe the best in the NBA. And that's a tool that I think is just undervalued. A lot of people, with this 3-point analytic era say the long two is the worst thing you can take. But if you look at Kawhi Leonard, you look at Kevin Durant, you look at Devin Booker, last 2 minutes of a game, that's the exact shot you want. You want that free throw line extended jumper.
Yeah.
And if you're automatic from there, there's nothing you can do. And I think we saw that a lot in the fourth quarter with De'Aaron. He knows how to get to that spot. And once he gets to that spot, it's automatic.
You heard it here first. I convinced Chris Watkins to take De'Aaron Fox over Luka Doncic. Thank you, Kyle. You're going to have to cut that. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we will hear an interview. It is time to begin the Keegan Murray conversation, and that all starts with an interview that Whitey and Watkins did a couple days ago. We'll be right back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins. I just think, Steph, enough.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports. Good Guys Heating and Cooling is proud to announce their partnership with Susan G. Komen to raise money and awareness for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. For the entire month of October, Good Guys is committed to donating $10 of every $69 seasonal tune-up performed and $250 for every heating and air system replaced to Susan G. Komen. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now to schedule your tune-up and help save lives. 530-GOOD-AIR or online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057-618.
As a business owner, outfitting your van fleet with Mercedes Sprinter vans is just smart business. Mercedes Sprinters qualify for a remarkably generous IRS Section 179 tax deduction. This means you literally save thousands in tax savings. Family-owned Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has a dedicated Mercedes van department with trained commercial vehicle experts ready to help you take on any job. See our selection of capable Mercedes vans at mbofstockton.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers, spread awareness of your product or services,
We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Hey, small business owner, when's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But some don't check their rate often. Did you know rates can vary? In fact, taking 3 minutes to check your rate with Pi Insurance could save you up to 30%. Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for you with no hassle or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could save you money. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
The City of Sacramento offers grass conversion rebates to help you replace your thirsty lawn with a naturally water-efficient landscape. Whether you own a home or business in Sacramento, you may be eligible. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings training camp is underway, and Frankie Cardicelli and Brennan Nunez have been out at Golden One Center covering camp. You can read their news and notes up right now at SactownSports.com, along with a whole bunch of interviews for Media Day. Check those out as well. In football, the New England Patriots have acquired big money free agent J.C. Jackson from the Chargers in exchange for a late round pick swap. Also, the Denver Broncos waived pass rusher Randy Gregory. In baseball, it's day 2 of the wild card round. The Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays, Milwaukee Brewers, and Miami Marlins all need to win today or else their seasons are over. Joining us right now on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, it's Keegan Murray.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Number 13, Keegan Murray joins us here on Sactown Sports. Malik says we dubbed him because his name is Malik, the King of the Kings, and he likes that. What do you think of that?
King of Kings. That's a nickname?
Yes.
I don't know about
Does
that. That's a little wild.
He doesn't need to be inflated anymore than he already is.
No, he's all good.
I was telling him I saw you, Kevin, and Malik were playing a lot of golf this summer. How did that go? Or are you the king of golf for this team? Or?
Yeah, they never beat me.
Yeah, I would assume. You played in high school, right? Or have been playing for a while?
Yeah, I played 4 years in high school. So.
Oh, okay. So you're just
steady?
Dominating them.
Yeah.
I'm long off the tee. What is
I'm
it?
long off the tee.
Yeah.
I have a pretty good short game. It's just, I guess when I got a long iron in my hands, it's iffy, but I'm pretty good off the
Do you
tee.
give them tips, or is it because I know when you're a lot better than the people you're playing with, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, you see them struggle and it's like, I feel like I could give you tips, but might not. Do you just kind of let them rock with?
I let him roll.
Yeah.
I mean, Malik's gotten a lot better from
Sure.
when I played with him in the beginning of the offseason to the end. So he's gotten a lot better for sure.
Right.
The way you improved last year, and then you've had such a great summer, a lot of people are really excited about what you can do this year. How do you feel about where your game is, how much you improved? You bounced back and played much better after a slow start in the playoffs. Where are you right now? What are you expecting from yourself offensively this year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel confident in myself on the court physically. I feel a lot better. And I feel like the end of the playoffs, the last couple of games, it really helped me going into the offseason knowing that I can play at the highest level of basketball and be really good. So just experiencing that, taking what I learned during the season and the offseason, working out with different people. I feel like it's helped me a lot, and I'm just excited to see my growth this year.
Last year, you were crazy efficient off of no dribbles or at least one dribble.
Yeah.
And then, in the California Classic, we saw almost a completely different person. And, it's everybody has been talking about the expectations for you this season. How is it going to be tough to kind of balance like what you can do versus what you want to show? Or is that just basketball? You're just going to go out there and kind of just feel it out.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on around.
Sure.
But I know that I'm going to stick to myself. I feel like if you go out of your comfort zone or whatever, it can lead to bad things. So I'm going to stick to myself, stick to the offense. I know that I can bring different elements that I did last year. So just being able to be more comfortable doing that, finishing at the rim, mid-range, stuff like that. So
Sure.
I'm just excited to kind of get to it in that aspect.
Yeah, Keegan Murray is with us here at Media Day, Sactown Sports. What would you say is the best thing about playing for Mike Brown? What would you say, and we know he's doing a great job, what would you say is the toughest thing about playing for Mike Brown?
I'd probably say the best thing is the intensity he brings every day. Livens the gym, livens everyone's spirits. I think that's really cool. Toughest thing is he wants to be perfect at everything, and I feel like that's a good thing for us. It's a good thing for me to be able to know that perfection is a standard. So you go into every single practice, and you might mess up something, but he wants you to be perfect. So I feel like that's helped me a lot.
Coaches are going to coach, right?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if I've heard you talk about this. Obviously, your brother got picked 23rd. The Kings had that 24th pick.
Yeah.
Did you start to kind of talk and say, hey, like, it looks like this might happen? Or were you just kind of going to let the night unfold and then, kind of deal with whatever it was after?
Yeah, kind of let the night unfold. I mean, I've joked with him about him maybe getting drafted to Sacramento and stuff like that, like beforehand. But that night, kind of just want to be him.
Yeah.
Don't put any pressure on him or whatever. But I know Portland's a good spot for him. I know they like him and stuff like that. So I couldn't be happier for him and where he landed. So
Chris has been in a game on the radio where we play a soundbite, either you or your brother, and try to guess who's who.
Yeah.
And he's actually really good at it.
I've
And
got it.
it's almost
Yeah.
impossible,
Yeah,
but he's actually
You guys
really
have
good at it.
slight differences. Your voice is a little bit deeper. That's what I found.
Slight. But I mean, I feel like the more we've grown up, the more we've kind of looked alike.
Sure.
Really?
Sounded alike. So.
What are you willing to share with us about how your rookie season went compared to what you expected when you were drafted by Sacramento?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to be a guy. My rookie, I knew what situation I was going in. Good team, a team that has really good players, can get to the playoffs, and I knew I wanted to be a guy that could go into the game and be productive. To break an NBA record, I didn't expect that at all.
When did you first become kind of aware of that?
I'd probably say it was towards like the end, like closer to when I got it. I was on pace and we had a lot more games left. So it was just something that kind of happened, and it was cool. So something I never expected in my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
You look like a completely different person in that playoff series from game 4 on. I mean, it just felt like something clicked. I don't know if the game slowed down or whatever it was. What did you learn from being in the playoffs? And I mean, did it exceed your expectations? Was it? I mean, just what were your emotions through that series?
Yeah. I mean, as a rookie, it's tough, just because you have no clue what to experience.
Right.
I mean, you watch it on TV and stuff, the atmospheres, but you don't really know until you're actually playing in it. And I feel like game 3, I was kind of playing at the end. We're getting blown out. I hit a couple shots, and I feel like that kind of turned my whole series around. Started playing with more confidence in game 4 and so on. And I feel like that series kind of helped me a lot going into the off season.
Sure.
Just knowing that I can be a really good player in this league.
No disrespect to the Warriors. They've won multiple championships. Keegan Murray's with us here in Sactown Sports. But you guys had to feel like, wow, we could have won that. How much is that fueling you as the new season starts?
Yeah. We know that we're a competitive team. We know that that's a series that if we just got one more game.
It was right there for you, right?
Yeah, hit one more game, hit a couple more shots, maybe won a game at home. Who knows how long we could have been playing. So we kind of had that fire in us from last year, and I feel like that's helped a lot of us in the offseason be motivated and just continue to be productive.
We saw the debut this summer of Uncle Keegs for the first time. You know, we have you, hanging around with De'Aaron and Rasay and baby Rain.
Yeah.
Have you been around babies a lot in your life, or what was that? What was that experience like? Yeah, it kind of seemed like that was a fresh experience for you.
Yeah, it was very new. I mean, I have a younger sister, but she was born when I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't really have much experience at all with babies. So to be able to see Rain kind of grow up from to being a toddler to actually being an infant, to be able to start crawling and be able to stand up on his own now. So it's been cool to see him and be able to push him around a little bit. So.
Keegan, as you know, the one thing that no one seems to be able to explain about the season last year was that you guys were so good statistically on the road defensively, and at home it was a different story. You have any idea why it worked out that way?
Nah, I have no clue. I didn't even know that was a stat, but I don't know. Maybe flip that around this year. Maybe even it out a little bit is our goal. But we want to be a lot better defensive team this year, whether it's home and road. So
how much of that starts with you at your position?
Yeah. I mean, some of the best players in the league are at my position, so falls a lot on me. I feel like there's spurts where I was good defensively. There's spurts where I was really bad. So I'm just trying to be consistent in being a better defender. That obviously I feel like in the weight room I've gotten a lot better laterally, physically. So I'm just excited to go against some of the best.
Can I ask him the Taylor Swift question real quick? I know you
got to go. Go ahead.
Because we asked Malik who on this team would have the best chance of getting Taylor Swift to come to a Kings game. Malik said Malik Monk. What do you
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with him. I'm gonna have to agree with him.
Fair enough. Keegan, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Congratulations on last year. Best of luck this year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Right.
Appreciate
one and only Keegan Murray with it.
Great stuff. Great stuff from Whitey and Watkins talking to Keegan Murray. And if the Kings, and by the way, how did you figure out the voice thing? It just sounds different to you.
I'm telling you, maybe, I don't know, if we have time, I'll send Kyle some clips that he can cut up.
Yeah.
There's slight difference. I'm telling you, Keegan's voice is just a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
It's the same cadence, it's the same tone, but I guess it's the pitch is just a little bit deeper for Keegan, but it's very, very slight.
Well, if the Kings had a big three, or if we're calling them a big three, he would definitely be a part of it.
Yeah.
Right. So you have De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, and Keegan. And just as important as Sabonis and Fox are, I would put Keegan in that category, because that third scorer that you're going to need to make this push and to continue to elevate, we already saw, and that's kind of when you set the tone, right, and you set the expectations to something. As we said, the Kings being the third seed, they want to get better, they want to improve. Keegan, what he did last year, now that's the expectation. So you got to get better, you got to improve. What do you think are some of the main things you'd like to see from Keegan coming off what he did last year?
Man, I mean, mainly it's to your point, it's just building upon what he was already doing. And that might be a little bit of a cop-out answer, but you want to see him still play like how he did last year. And that's something I asked him about. Just, is that going to be difficult to kind of balance, what you already know you can do in the NBA versus, hey, I can dribble a little bit, I can play make a little bit. How do you kind of balance that act of showing off what you still can do while still staying productive? Because as we know, sophomore slumps are a really big thing. And I think a large part of it is the mental aspect of, I now know what to expect. I had a whole summer of getting ready, knowing what to expect. Now I just want to show everybody everything all at once. And it's really tough. And I think Keegan's got the perfect temperament for it. I don't think Keegan Murray is one to rush into anything.
No.
But I think really what I want to see is him put the ball on the floor and just be creative off of it. Can he create some shots off the dribble? Can he play make for others? We really didn't see much of any passing from Keegan last year. Does he have any of it? And then, of course, the big thing, and this isn't just a Keegan thing, this is entire Kings. can you improve on defense?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that's going to make them a lot better of a team and a lot more serious of a potential title contender is if they can actually start to play defense.
Never forget, and I'm not comparing him, but never forget Michael Carter-Williams won a Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
I'm not
my
comparing
gosh.
them.
No,
I'm
for
just
sure.
saying you got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just
years,
1 year.
and you got to keep improving and not get complacent. I think Keegan Murray is much more talented than Michael Carter-Williams, but I'll never forget
but
that.
the point still sticks.
It's just
for
one of
sure.
those random things that I have in my brain because sometimes I just think, where did he go? He just won and evaporated.
Literally, and I remember even when he won, it was like we've got to give the award to somebody. Like, are we going to give it to Nerlens Noel or I think it was like Jaleel? I can't remember.
Just
it was
a
very
class.
rough draft class, and they were like, I guess we got to give it to him.
And then you go down the list of all the Rookie of the Years, and then you say, oh, okay, Michael Carter-Williams, all right.
It's one of those where it's like, oh, I guess this really doesn't mean as much as what we thought it was.
Before we go to break, do you guys want the top 5 in that Michael Carter-Williams Rookie of the Year voting?
Please.
Okay, so number 1 was obviously Michael Carter-Williams. 2, Victor Oladipo.
Okay, in hindsight.
3, Trey Burke.
Oh wow.
4 was Mason Plumlee. And then 5 was Tim Hardaway Jr.
Hey, shout out my guy Tim, but oh my gosh.
Wow.
Mason Plumlee to be number 4 that's all you really need to know.
Should have been Victor.
And
right?
tied for 7th with one 5th place vote, tied for 7th, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that also shows that you can't give up on, or not that the Bucks were ever giving up on him, but you can't the jury isn't out until 3-4 years down the line. Like, there's guys like Stanley Johnson that come to mind. Like there's guys that have promise in the first couple of years, but it just never pans out. And then there's guys like Michael Carter-Williams who shine at the start of their career, but just never really develop past that. And I think, Keegan, hopefully, I think what we saw in the California Classic, it makes me feel very confident that he's going to build upon. And the great thing about Keegan, though, is whatever. Let's say even if he doesn't progress, the guy that he was last year is still really, really helpful to have on your team.
Right. It still would be enough to at least get you back to where you were, you would think, or at least in that category.
Yeah.
So you are not Michael Carter-Williams, Keegan. What if you ask him that? How do you feel about Michael Carter-Williams, Keegan? So
how do you feel about those comps?
Got to get to a break. When we get back, we're continuing to talk Keegan Murray, and we're going to do some comps. We're going to do some player comps, not Michael Carter-Williams, but player comps with Keegan Murray. What is his ceiling, and how does that change or elevate the ceiling for the Sacramento Kings? It's Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at revivemenshealth.com.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports. Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m., talking Keegan Murray and how important he is to the Sacramento Kings. So I
All right. I wonder if everybody else just got that as well. I think everybody just got that.
The alert.
We got that alert. We heard it was going to happen.
We're back.
Those were just cell phones.
Oh, that was just the cell phone alert.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I knew was coming. I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah. I know. Well, I mean, I feel like it's a totally fair and just response to when your phone starts doing the EAS noise. Everything should stop. I feel like, especially, I don't know if you remember that Hawaii situation where it was a couple of years ago, like there was a fake, or not fake, but a false alarm of an EAS sent out in Hawaii that said nuclear weapons have been launched and they're coming, and pretty much
When
you have
was
like
this?
30 minutes. I feel like it was like a couple years ago. It was like 2 or 3 years ago, and
it was more than that. It was when I was in high school.
Oh, okay. It was it was definitely some time ago, but I mean, and everyone essentially was like, we're gonna die here because our phones just told us so, and then they were like,
I think Magic
actually, it
Johnson was on Hawaii or something like that. I think that was the story when that happened.
It was 2018. So yeah, it was 2018, the morning of January 13th, 2018. An alert was accidentally sent out via the EAS system, and saying that there was a ballistic missile alarm that just put Hawaii into a panic. And so
I think it's coming back to me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wouldn't want that.
Well, we powered through.
Yeah, we did. We made it through. We survived. We shall rebuild.
Yes, all the other stations in the building. Hope you powered through as well.
Hope you made it through that.
And we continue on. All right, talking
Keegan Murray.
Talking Keegan Murray.
Let's do it.
And alerts.
Yes.
No, just Keegan Murray. And I'm looking at these player comps. I asked you because I add things on to people, which I don't know if they're true or not. But I'll say low key or shady and then say what somebody is. So to me, Keegan Murray is shady tall. He doesn't, when I see him, and you told me he was 6'8", 6'9", did not look that tall to me.
Sure.
So he looked, I call him shady tall.
Yeah.
I like to say I'm shady short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you can't really tell until you get really close to me. So when I see these player comps of Otto Porter Jr. and Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, fun.
All right.
That's great. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Gotcha. Sounds great.
We'll run it back then.
Yeah.
No one heard my short joke then.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's like there's so many people out there where it's like it's really tough to just try and pin it down.
All right.
We're back.
We are back.
Wow. Okay.
We are back. You got phones going off. You got TVs going off, but welcome back to the program, attempting to talk Keegan Murray.
They're trying to stop us. I don't know who they is, but they are trying to stop us.
We're going tinfoil hat.
Yeah,
now.
I don't know what it is.
And we shall not be moved. We are going to talk Keegan Murray.
We're going to do it
one way or the other. If it's the last thing we do.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Otto Porter Jr., Otto Porter, and Michael Porter Jr. What are your thoughts on that comp?
I honestly do really like the Otto Porter comp. The Michael Porter one is, to me, like that's if Keegan, kind of like what we just talked about, if he doesn't really ever develop much else, if he continues to just kind of be a scorer and really, doesn't put the ball on the ground much, I could see a Michael Porter-esque role for Keegan Murray where it's just, he's technically your third scorer. He's not the most reliable because he can't really create his own jump shot, but he's still somebody who can, on a given night, fill it up and give you 20, 30, maybe even on any given night. But to me, Otto Porter is a good one because I just think he was the idea of Otto Porter, I should say. I think the guy he ended up being didn't end up. Yeah, exactly. Like all that stuff. But Otto Porter, number 3 pick in the draft, had some potential, was really long, was a good defender. I think that's kind of the next step for Keegan, like we mentioned earlier. And just a scorer, like just a reliable guy that might not, again, it might not be an every night giving you 20, but it might be a little bit more of just consistently getting you 16 to 18 points per game and just somebody that you can't really leave on the defensive side.
Right. Well, again, you need your complementary players, and I have no clue if Keegan Murray will end up being a star or anything like that, but he's going to have to be respected.
Yes.
And when you mentioned the sophomore slump, I think that's a good call because the Kings aren't going to sneak up on anybody, and Keegan Murray's not going to sneak up on anybody. He is going to be circled. Hey, guys, this dude, he can shoot it. So,
and they're going to line him up to do so.
Exactly. So there's no, and I'm not saying people were helping off him, nothing ridiculous like that, but he will be more of a focal point, and he has to continue to perform because that keeps everybody honest. And if he can continue to keep the defense honest, that allows De'Aaron to boogie more. That allows Sabonis to do his thing. So I think he is one of the most important pieces to the Kings and how they got to that second leap or that first leap last season. And you can't go back now. You can't go back now because they only know a world of you playing like this. Fans, I saw all that when I was at the arena yesterday. I saw all the jerseys and everything like that. So I think he's a guy who's going to step up and, you know, where it's a put up or shut up type league and really be the number 3, number 2B, nights, whatever you need to get you some buckets because as we mentioned, Harrison Barnes is a guy who
in and out.
I wouldn't put him in that cat. I don't think you can necessarily depend on Harrison to give you X or Y. I have no clue. Maybe I feel comfortable saying 10. And he can give you 10. Don't forget about him. And you know, he'll do some nice things for you. But they weren't playing like this, and they had Harrison Barnes the last couple years. They didn't start playing like this till they got Keegan Murray.
Exactly.
Okay. And the differences were you got Keegan Murray, De'Aaron took a step, and Sabonis is now more into the fold. Yes.
Exactly.
So those are the main cogs in the machine if this Kings machine is going to keep rolling along.
No, and I mean I think the organization would share the same sentiment that you just laid out. Like I think that they feel like the way that this team makes that extra leap is Keegan Murray making that leap. And there's been some wild comparisons thrown out there for Keegan this offseason. I mean, Luke Laux kind of accidentally compared Keegan to Kawhi Leonard in a certain way. You know, he more said like, you know, Keegan had this ridiculous performance during the summer league. And the only other time I had seen someone make a crazy leap like that from one year to another was Kawhi Leonard. So it didn't directly say like his game is like Kawhi Leonard, but essentially compared the leap that Kawhi made with the Spurs in that year that he won Finals MVP, equated that to the leap that they think Keegan can make. And so if I'm not going to say that leap's going to happen, but if there is any sort of leap like that's even coming close to that, to me, that's a really good and reasonable reason to say, I think that we can, you say not, you know, the Kings aren't going to sneak up on anybody, but maybe they could surprise some people just with how much different Keegan Murray specifically looks and how they approach giving him shots. Like I think they could give him shots in different places and maybe set him up for pick and rolls to be the ball handler in pick and roll situations. And I think that's really the big hope for Keegan this year is it's really big expectation, but can you yourself take a leap that leads to this team looking like a different team?
And okay, we got one more for you. This is from Kendrick Perkins, so take it with a grain of salt.
Boy.
Compared Keegan Murray to Pascal Siakam.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who do they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah. I know that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, turned him down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift and be like, why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make 500 million? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Quick Quack Car Wash is a proud partner of the Sacramento Kings and can't wait for the upcoming season. To celebrate, Quick Quack is giving one lucky duck a pair of lower-level tickets to the Kings home opener versus Golden State on October 27th. Enter for your chance to win this epic opening night showdown by going to SactownSports.com. Be there for the Kings versus Golden State, courtesy of Quick Quack, where you can wash your car all you want with an unlimited membership.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings training camp is underway. Frankie Cardicelli and Brennan Nunez have been out at Golden One Center covering camp, and you can read their news and notes at SactownSports.com. In football, the New England Patriots have acquired J.C. Jackson from the Chargers in exchange for a late-round pick swap. And in baseball, it's day 2 of the wild card round. The Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays, Milwaukee Brewers, and Miami Marlins need a win today, or else they will be eliminated from the playoffs. The first game's going to start in about a half hour. Joining us right now on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, we have Mr. Vazenkov.
Well, we have another very special guest here, Media Day at the Golden One, Whitey Gleason, Chris Watkins, joined by number 7, Sasha Vazenkov. Welcome, Sasha, to Sacramento. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you guys.
What do you think of the team so far? I know it's probably been like a whirlwind for you, right? Coming over, and you got a lot of things to adjust to as far as a new country, new team. Where is all that right now? How are you coming along, getting just used to everything?
Yeah, like the first month is always difficult, adjusting in the new country, find your places, find your spots. But I'm blessed and glad because of my teammates, the front office, all of the people who are working in the organization made me feel like home. So they helped me with everything. They never let me alone for anything, So I really appreciate them. And I can't say immediately I feel like home, but I feel good.
Yeah, you got big hands. Let me see.
Let's see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're the one with big hands, man. Come on. Sasha, I don't mean to put more pressure on you, but I mean, people are so excited to finally see you play here. We have people in our YouTube chat that are literally every day just, where's Sasha, wanting
When's Sasha. his plane coming? Is he in town?
Everything. Yeah. They're so excited to see you play. Do you feel that excitement, not only from Sacramento Kings fans, but from fans all across the globe for you to make your NBA debut?
I think like everybody's excited because, a kid from Bulgaria, born in Cyprus, that's one in the case, right. I'm not a French guy or Serbian or Spanish that you have a lot, and all these that happened last year, I played good, and my team went pretty good. So I think there's one excitement all over the place, but I'm focused on my work. I know what I can do. I know how I can help the team. I know why the team needs me. So I let the people be excited. That's their job. That's a part of it. And I'm focused on what we have to do.
Yeah, awesome. We're talking, of course, with Sasha Vazenkov. How about you? I know you've talked about this, but what made you decide that, okay, it's time to go play in the NBA and play in Sacramento?
I think the opportunity, when you're 28, it's a little bit tougher. Everything you think, as you get older, you think more. When you're 18, 17, you just go and leave it, It was a tough decision because back home, everything was pretty set. Good team, good organization, great fans, family. But you never said like you never say no to this great opportunity, and the opportunity is great. Like to be in a winning team, to be in a great organization, good chemistry from the president of the team to like the last who works for this team. So the chemistry, the family. It's like a big family, so that make me, they show me how much they want me throughout the whole year by visiting me so often, and as I said, like the opportunity that I can contribute to this team.
We've watched you a lot. How much did you watch the Kings and say, "Oh yeah, I can really play with that team"?
Yeah, I watch them a lot, because like NBA is different, but I think like the Kings try to play a little bit different than the stereotype we have in NBA. A lot of passes, a lot of fast-paced cuts. So I've seen myself like fit in. So that's why that was also a reason, like because it was a team that played different from what I can do to the court. Of course,
Tougher
like
adjustment.
tougher adjustment. But I think like the whole system fits me like the best.
How much have you seen Domas play, and how exciting is it if you have watched him play to try and visualize yourself playing off of him?
Yeah, I have watched the whole team obviously last year, not like the whole games, but a lot of games. Domas he's an all-star player, 3 times. He's a great passer with great vision. So you just need to be on the right time, the right spot, the right moment. So I think I move well without the ball, so I think the connection will be good.
How did you learn to play basketball that way? You move so well without the ball. It's one of the first things people notice, and as you say, fits this system beautifully. How did you learn to play basketball that way?
As you grow and as I sit down work, because I think work, you have to put the work in off season, because during the year you don't have the time to improve yourself a lot. You just maintain. So I've seen what my weaknesses are and what my strengths are. So people like fancy danks and 10 threes and athletic, so my type of game is not attractive maybe sometimes to the fans, because you have to understand basketball,
but it's effective.
But it's effective. So I had to do something except shooting really good, because from a young age I was shooting good. But I had to improve in other parts. So I started watching good off-ball players, how they move, what they do. And even though sometimes, maybe you don't have to cut every time, but sometimes I would just keep cutting. And I learned that for the defender, it's tough when you keep moving. So that's what I try to do, keep moving, and that's you need to be in shape every time. You need to work hard. You'll make mistakes, but basketball is a game of mistakes. So I had also excel of shooting to improve other things. So that's one that I try to, maximize my potential in this.
I don't mean to bring up painful memories, but that EuroLeague final is one of the most crushing things I've ever seen from a team. Do you have any hope to return and try and avenge that, or are you just kind of focused on the NBA journey right now?
It still hurts me. I'll not lie to you. I didn't pass over this because, as you said, when you're 9 months first and when you're dominating the semifinal and you're 39 minutes, it was a perfect year. We won 3 more titles. And even though I'm here and I know I'm focused here, and I'm a guy who only thinks the future, I'll be honest, it's a thing. I'm watching other sports and I've seen people winning, and I said why they win and we didn't. I know maybe selfish, because let's be honest, there are more parts of life that are more important, and other things are the most important things. But from one perspective, I said what we did wrong. Because when you do something wrong, we didn't play bad, we were winning. So why we didn't? But that's God's plan, and everybody's focused on the next year. I'm following my ex-team. I hope they do great. I'm here, and maybe God seeing and give me something better this year. Something more. Let's see.
Isn't it funny? Great athletes and competitors. You win. You've won so many games, but the losses are the ones that you remember more, right?
A great friend of mine and European legend, who is now coach, Vasilis Panoulis, told me, my friend, in basketball, out of 10 moments, 9 are hard and 1 is good. So, you have to be tough. For one good moment that basketball will give you, probably will give you 5 or 10 hard moments. So, and the hard moments always, but that's not only basketball, that's in society. Everybody like the negative part. Like that's what stays in mind because we're humans. The humans are like set like this. So always like the tough moment is the one who is like, it's there.
Yeah, I don't think enough people talk about with your situation. I mean, you're completely uprooting your life. You're moving to a brand new place. How has that transition been for you? How have you been able to adjust to that?
You know, I'm thankful to my family, as I said, and to Sac family who like helped me with everything. You know, it's tough. Like whoever said it's easy. Even now, as I said, 28 years old, you leave everything. You set up back home to come here.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's a dream. It's an opportunity. And I think like the fastest I adjust outside of the court, the easiest will be on the court too.
What about players that you've played with and against who've played in the NBA? If I may ask, what advice have they given you? Like, this is what the NBA level is like, in addition to everything culturally, but just the game. What advice have you gotten from guys who played in the NBA, European players?
You know, like I didn't talk because everybody faces it in different way. We can see like Europeans come here and have successful years, like Bogdan, who was here, Bogdanovic, and then we can see other players that they come and they play and they go back. You know, everybody has his own path. Everybody has his different situation and like difficulties and good moments. So I keep my own path. You know, you have to search and research about it. Like whoever says. It's different, you know. Like Sac was different 5 years ago than what is now. So you know, every team is different year by year. Even like last year's Sacramento will be different from this year. So I have to, you know, I have to face my difficulties. I have to like be strong and build from there and see how the season will go.
But you have to know, right? Basketball is basketball wherever it's played, and if you're making shots, there's going to be a spot for you on the floor.
Yeah, you know, it's not only making shots, but from what I see, like in NBA, you have to do something really good, you know, to be someone less where you can contribute to the team and help them in different aspects, but some aspects you have to like do them really great. So, you know, I'll work out every day, be here, because that's how I succeed in my life. You know, work out, do 100% whatever. It's up to you, you know, and then. You know, other teams play too basketball, other players, you know, control what you can control, and let's see.
Yeah, where do you really see yourself impacting this team the most? Obviously, you're a fantastic shooter. You've mentioned cutting off the ball. Is it just kind of a combination of everything?
Yeah, like you know, as I said, it's step by step, like knowing my teammates. They know like them to know me. You know, as I said, like first preseason games, then the next official games, you know, you have to face it and you have to feel it in order to realize it. And game by game, I think I'll be better.
How important is your rebounding to helping this team at the defensive end?
It's good, you know, like I think I'm a good offensive rebounder. That the team was like a little bit in the last position last year. Of course, like defensive rebounding will be something different because here the athleticism is different. But you know. A lot of film, a lot of video, like to study the game, because like before you play the game, you have to study it and see how is it, and then to feel it, face it, and as I said, like, I think like game by game, the aspects of my game will be better.
Did you watch a lot of the Kings Warriors playoff series?
I watched like probably like out of the 7 games, I watched like the 5. Let's say.
What did you pick up from that, and what have you heard about playoff basketball and just kind of how different
it's different. Like you can see it obviously from the TV, like the physicality, the whole energy is different. Because like I think basketball is a fair sport, but you know, 9 months you're fighting for something to play for 2 weeks. That's the reality. Like, see what happened last year. Milwaukee was first for 9 months,
right?
And they lost like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit harsh. Like, but that's what I said. Basketball is harsh, but you have to be ready. You can't be ready. You can't like press a button and be ready in the playoffs. So that's why you start like from today to build. But the most important from my experience is to be healthy. Like, that's the most important, to get in the playoffs healthy, and then like put everything you work on, like work hard.
And we'll let you go on this one, but what did you think of the crowd? I know it's different. You've played in arenas with loud crowds, and you saw that on TV, which is different. But what did you think of the atmosphere?
You know, like the atmosphere in Europe is totally different. But from what I hear, like the Sacramento fans are one of the loudest here in the NBA.
How is it different? I'm sorry, but you said in Europe it's different.
It's different. Like it's extremely, like, how to say, different aspects, like of.
One of your games got canceled, didn't it? I mean,
we didn't finish our
the crowd.
we didn't finish our game 4 last year, so it's different. Over there the fans are, like, let's say, passionate in both ways, in
They
good and
express it
bad way. Yeah, they express it. So that's it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
for stopping by. We appreciate it. All the best in Sacramento. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Sasha
Thank you, Sasha.
Vasenkov with us here. It's
Appreciate
media day.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sasha.
Great stuff from Sasha Vasenkov. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we will react to the interview and more. We're going to see how good Chris and myself are comparing Chris and Keegan Murray. It's Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Restaurants in Roseville and Sacramento, and our newest restaurant, Bennett's West Side Grill at Rockland's Blue Oak Town Center on Lone Tree Boulevard. We believe in serving the freshest handcrafted foods in a warm, convivial setting. We feature prime seafood and hand-cut steaks, and we have a great wine list with 60 selections by the glass from just $12. Come on in and let us treat you like family and enjoy our wide selection of prime seafood and steak. Having a meeting or large group dinner, our newest restaurant in Rockland features 3 different size event spaces for large group gatherings. 80 guests, not a problem. Bennett's Kitchen Bar and Market, Eureka and Lead Hill Road in Roseville, and Bennett's American Cooking on Fair Oaks and Howe in Sacramento, and our brand new Bennett's West Side Grill at Rockland's Blue Oak Town Center on Lone Tree Boulevard. Come let us put a smile on your face and enjoy all our hospitality. Find us on the web at bennettsrestaurants.com. Eat well, stay well, and remember, Bennett's is where you'll always receive a hospitable welcome.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be, or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Klein tools are new at Lowe's, pros. Lowe's knows you want top brands and quality products, and Klein Tools delivers. Right now, get the Klein 3-piece Modbox mobile workstation for $319.94 and the Klein 5-piece cushion grip screwdriver set for just $34.97, both exclusively at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools, the highest quality tool brand at Lowe's. Because Lowe's knows tools, Lowe's knows pros.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can stand, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can stand, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council. It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Players know it's not just because you win more. It's because of everything else at Gold Country Casino Resort, where players roll in and winners are made. Winning isn't the only thing on the menu, and nightlife, it's more than entertaining. Drinks and dining options are abundant and guaranteed to satisfy your innermost desires. Come be our guests and see why Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is where the players play.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
We are back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. Hope everybody, we powered through the technical situation. It was fine. It was fine. And now we move forward. That was a great interview with Sasha Vezinkov. And I was firing up some highlights during the break just to get more familiar with what he's got going on. And you said you think his play is going to be similar to Keegan Murray.
Yeah. I mean, like when I try and visualize what Sasha's going to look like in the offense, especially like towards the beginning of the year when they're still kind of slowly integrating him into things, I just think it's going to look a lot like what they asked Keegan to do last year. And it would make sense because, you know, again, as we talked about when we were talking with Keegan, they want Keegan to do different things. They don't want Keegan to necessarily be in the same spots that he was last year doing the exact same thing. They want to see growth from him. And I think that they're just going to say, okay, Keegan, we're going to let you move over there. Sasha's going to slip into your role currently where it's essentially just running off of screens, running off of dribble handoffs and trying to get him open looks so that you saw his jump shot. He's got a really, really quick release. Yeah. It's just about getting him open for that split second and letting it fly because, you know, you don't want him thinking, especially in his first games. You just want him out there playing basketball.
Right. And here's the thing. We were talking about Luka earlier, who has said some things about the transition not being that crazy.
Yeah. He said it's easier overseas than in the NBA. So we'll see.
You think about what happens if the Kings hit. I mean, a lot of these teams do this where they draft these guys, you stash them, you get their rights, they're overseas, and you just hope, hey, maybe we hit on one of these, right? And if he does, this could be something else.
Yeah, no, I think that there's like top end potential for somebody like a Bojan Bogdanovic, where it's like, yeah, I mean, that's found money essentially, where it's like, I mean, it's like Brock Purdy. It's like you're just, you know, you think you're going to get, I mean, and Brock Purdy's probably the extreme example, but like you bring in Sasha and it's like, okay, we know he can shoot. Again, let's just try and fit him into that role. But who knows? Maybe his vision is underrated and he underutilized in Europe and him having the ball in his hand, maybe he'll be a great playmaker. You know, we talk a lot about his shooting. Sasha on Media Day talked a lot about his slashing and his ability to cut and knowing, you know, the skill of knowing when to properly cut. And I think there's tons of different aspects in which he can affect the game offensively specifically. And who knows, maybe even defensively. I don't think anyone really expects much of anything from him.
Yeah.
If he can be okay defensively, I think that's a major, major bonus.
Defensively, the Kings could be better.
Yes.
To put it nicely.
To put it nicely.
And the question is, how much of that is the horses that you got in the stable and how much of that is scheme and how much of that is effort, right? Because that's what we learned growing up.
Right.
Defense is effort. I don't know that I think that's completely true. I think it's nice to be really athletic.
Exactly.
I think it's nice to have great length. I think it's nice to have an outstanding leaping ability. I think all those things help, but I would agree that some of it is effort or a decent bit of the pie
It goes
chart.
a long way.
It goes a long way. So the Kings can improve defensively. Is it more about effort or is it more about rotations and scheme?
I think it's a lot about the player. I think it's a lot about the personnel they have, frankly. Like, I think De'Aaron Fox is capable of playing defense. I mean, he's the fastest player in the NBA. Right. If you can blow by anybody, you should be able to keep everybody in front of you at the same time. I know it's not that cut and dry, but you know, for the most part, it kind of is.
Yeah.
So, you know, he should be better defensively, but also you look at the guys they have. Kevin Huerter, not a defensive superstar. Malik Monk, even not a defensive player. No. Harrison Barnes should be okay, should be a good team defender. They usually stick him on the Kevin Durant's, the Giannis's, those guys. A lot of the times that's kind of, again, personnel wise, he just doesn't really have the tools to stay in front of those guys. Keegan Murray, young rookie, still learning how to do things. I think that's, again, going to be part of Keegan's development is not only just his defensive IQ, but also building out his body so he can, you know, bang around with some of those guys. And Sabonis is the furthest thing from a rim protector in terms of, you know, what you would the prototype of, a guy like JaVale McGee, frankly. Like Sabonis just doesn't really bring that. Sabonis brings a ton of effort,
right?
But he's more lacking the intent or the things that you can't just, the things you are born with.
Right,
Sabonis is just, he's got shorter arms. He doesn't leap. He's not quick. He's a little slow-footed. Like, he does the most with what he's given, but for the most part, I think it's a big part of personnel is their real shortcoming.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, because if you do look at the past champions, they all, of the last couple of years, they all seem to have 1+ wing defender.
Yep. Yeah.
And that is what the Kings seem to be missing a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Have the Lakers, who have a couple. I mean, the Nuggets, off the top of my head,
Bruce Brown was good.
Right.
Christian Brown was good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Michael Porter Jr. is not, but Aaron Gordon is somebody that they relied heavily on. He's not really a wing, but he can defensively. He played against Jimmy Butler, so I think that counts.
Right. So yeah, Nuggets had Aaron Gordon. Warriors have Wiggins. Right.
Wiggins,
so
yep.
I don't
the
know.
athleticism of Kuminga. Too.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Whether or not he decides to utilize it,
you got Davion Mitchell, your boy Davion Mitchell, as for the guard position to lock that down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wing defender, that might be the biggest weakness, because this is turning into a wing-driven league.
Very much so.
And Harrison Barnes isn't getting any younger.
He's not.
So the question is, as much as we talk about De'Aaron Fox's ascension as a whole,
right,
who on this roster is going to ascend specifically defensively? And I think it was a great call with Keegan Murray, but he's got to do it.
He's got to do it. And it's a lot of pressure. And it's just that it also, like, a big part of defense is also conditioning. Like, you give a ton of effort on offense. A big reason why a lot of guys don't give that max effort defensively is because, frankly, it's exhausting, especially depending, like De'Aaron Fox. Again, we give him, he is the fourth quarter. It's De'Aaron, take the ball and lead us to a victory. It's kind of hard to have that stamina save for the fourth quarter if you're giving max effort on both ends of the floor for the first three. So, that's kind of understandable. But I think that's still the big question. Like, I would love to have an answer for how the Kings got better defensively, but frankly, it's something that our guy, Whitey Gleason's been pointing out to me since the offseason, is the personnel they brought in doesn't really lend itself to a better defense. Right. I think you hope Chris Duarte, who you look at the numbers on the surface, don't really show him being a defender. I think he's got the tools, and when you think of his game, I think you could see him being a plus for this team specifically on defense. But the wings, there's no answer. They brought in Kessler Edwards at the trade deadline last year. They played him a lot more than I think anyone was expecting, simply because he gave that defensive effort. And I think they're going to rely, frankly, to answer your question, I think they're going to rely very heavily on JaVale McGee to essentially be a goalie. I don't think that's going to work, though. I think that it's putting a Band-Aid on your problem. I think, to your point, the problem is perimeter defense. And having a goalie back there, it'll divert some shots, but it's really masking what the root of the problem is. And it's the fact that you're a turnstile at the 3-point line and you're just letting people have free lanes to the rim.
Well, and if you are getting cooked on the perimeter, right, it doesn't really matter about a goalie.
No.
None of that matters at all.
You're just going to get him in foul trouble.
You're just going to get him in foul trouble. So, I think that is going to be something the Kings are going to figure out. I'm not really worried about De'Aaron Fox, because there have been plenty of teams, and not to use Steph again, but you can not that he –
no, for sure.
I'm not saying he needs to be hidden, but if it's – and I know that De'Aaron has that dog in him and probably wants to guard the other point guard star, but if you're not making it happen, you're going to sit over there on a dude who you can preserve your energy for the fourth and for the duration of the game and focus on your offense. But that only works when you can have somebody step up. The Warriors had Klay Thompson for all those years. Hey, I'll take the dude who's trying to cook, and we'll do that. So who is going to step up? And that is why, as much as I've been joking you, Davion Mitchell knows I got the defense thing. If I can just figure out how to put the biscuit in the basket, we might be cooking with some hot grease here. So
it would go a long way.
Exactly. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we will actually do the sounds from the two Murrays to compare. All right, that's up next. All that and more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right. But many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with the IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Klein tools are new at Lowe's, pros. Lowe's knows you want top brands and quality products, and Klein Tools delivers. Right now, get the Klein 3-piece ModBox mobile workstation for $319.94 and the Klein 5-piece cushion grip screwdriver set for just $34.97, both exclusively at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools, the highest quality tool brand at Lowe's. Because Lowe's knows tools, Lowe's knows pros.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can step, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can step, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning or afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings training camp is underway. Frankie Cardicelli and Brennan Nunez have been out at Golden One Center covering camp. You can read their news and notes at SactownSports.com. In football, the New England Patriots have acquired big money free agent J.C. Jackson via trade from the Chargers in exchange for a late round pick swap. And in baseball, it's day 2 of the MLB wildcard round. Texas and Tampa Bay are getting underway right now. First pitch is in about 4 minutes. And the Blue Jays, Brewers, and Marlins all need a win to avoid elimination as well. Now, let's bring it back to Stiles and Watkins here on Sactown Sports.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports. You know, we talked about Chance the Rapper yesterday, and we did a lot of bag fumbling yesterday. Roddy Ricch, he was another guy who the box, I think he suffered from. I don't know why Kyle's shaking his head. I think he suffered from. The box was huge. That song was ridiculous. Yeah. And he had a couple other bangers, but people are saying he fell off. Another bag fumble.
It's kind of how it goes.
I don't know if you want to bring up my most controversial music takes, but Roddy Ricch's most recent album was Feed the Streets 3. It came out last year. One of my top 5 favorite albums of all time. It's so good. Wow. There's like 9 bangers on that album.
Wow.
So I'm a big Roddy Ricch guy.
I know I briefly went through it because I like Roddy Ricch, but I will have to revisit.
Wow.
Because
I know, I'm like, that's...
No,
that
everyone
is something else.
Everyone thought it was like, it's all right, it's not great. And I heard it, I'm like, banger, 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 one after the other. I don't know why.
Wow. All right.
Okay. I'm going to listen to that on the way home immediately after.
Yes.
Immediately after.
Fair
the
enough.
show's over,
Fair enough.
That's
all
high
right.
praise.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so talking Kings, and we did a lot of defense, but before, we've been meaning to talk Murrays and see if we can figure out who is who. Now, apparently Chris is a Murray voice whisperer, and Chris is going to nail this. I'm probably not, but I'm going to play along anyway. Kyle, let's hear the sound.
All right, here's the first sound. Guess which brother this is.
Tons of adversity, winning streaks, losing streaks.
I already know.
A few losing streaks I didn't want to have, but we thought we had a chance this game, too, especially when we came back to kind of win. And I felt like if we won that game, we would have just tons of momentum. That's kind of what we needed.
Would you like to go first?
Sure. That's Chris.
That is Chris. That's definitely Chris. That's 100% Chris.
I mean, it's a 50-50 chance.
Right, exactly.
You guys are both correct. That is Chris Murray.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just like it's a high pitch. You'll or a higher pitch. You'll hear it once you hear Keegan too.
Well, here's the second sound that we have.
Kind of have that mindset where if things are going bad, keep that mindset that they'll end up going good. If things are going good and you're at the highest point, never forget when you're at your lowest. So.
I think that's Keegan.
That is Keegan.
Okay.
That is 100% Keegan. That's definitely Keegan.
Yes, you're both correct.
Yes. Okay.
So,
two for two.
Now that you've heard both of them,
right?
You have a reference point here. Let's see if you guys can get this one. Now, you're going to hear both of their voices, but which person is saying the word pasta?
Okay.
I can make pastas. Chicken. It's like you not made a pasta. It's like spaghetti with marinara.
Can you play it one more time?
I can make pastas.
I think that's Chris.
I'm pretty sure that's Chris.
I can make pastas.
The laugh was deeper to me.
That's true. That's true too. I'm still going to say that's Chris, but I am starting to slightly doubt it, but I think that's Chris.
I can make pastas.
That is Chris.
Oh, man.
You got
that one was close
it.
because that one's also higher quality audio too. So I feel like
Yes.
the higher the quality of the audio, the tougher it is.
All right, let's try this next one.
Just going through it. I really feel like I got used to it pretty quick. And that I feel like that helped me.
That's Keegan.
That's Keegan.
Yeah.
That's 100% Keegan.
See, you're good at this game.
Yeah.
You're
Wow.
4 for 4.
Alan, yeah, you're killing it.
Well, I would say the most impressive thing is cutting the audio so that there's no mention of the NBA
Right.
or the Kings or whoever. So it's just cutting just the most generic sound ever.
Yeah. Is there
I have
one
things
more?
to work on, which is always good. Things to improve on. So I think the sky's the limit for us.
Try that one again.
Have things to work on, which is always good. Things to improve on. So I think the sky's the limit for us.
I think that's Chris. I think it is. I don't. That one sounded deep though, so I could be off.
Well, you've gone back and forth every single time, so there's got to be a double in here somewhere.
Ooh.
And I'm going to cheat a little bit and go based on the content.
Okay.
And he's saying the sky is the limit. Sounds like it's the Kings. The places he can improve.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna use context clues here and see if it helps me. I think it's Keegan.
Have things to work on, which is always good. Things to improve on.
It doesn't
I
sound
think
deep enough,
the sky's the limit for us.
But I'm sticking with it.
I'm sticking with Chris.
It's Keegan.
Oh, wow. Is that at
Wow.
least Keegan in college? Like, is it maybe a younger Keegan?
Verlad cut these sounds months ago, so I don't know the answer.
Oh.
Wow. There you go.
Dang.
Good stuff.
Well, I've
good
been
stuff.
bested. I've
Yeah.
been bested, man.
Well,
Oh, okay.
it wasn't the voice. I went content.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you went,
so I kind of
used
found
your brain.
I kind of
Yeah.
just used
Reverse
Waze.
psychology,
you
I guess,
used
yeah.
Google Maps. I used
There you
Waze.
go. Yeah.
So good enough. Good enough. All right. Good stuff. Thank you for that, Kyle.
Wow.
As we continue to move forward, we're going to take a little mini Kings break here and talk some just general NBA.
Sure.
And out of the typical things that we hear every offseason, I'm curious, out of the usual suspects, which ones you believe in the most. So some of the ones that we've heard, Ben Simmons has a three-pointer now. Okay? Luka Doncic is in the best shape of his life.
Right.
Zion is in the best shape of his life. Okay, so
is he in a different shape, or is he like
I saw a picture
more circular?
I
or-
literally saw a video of Zion and it said Zion shredded. And I promise you, he looked exactly the same.
exact same.
He looks big.
He's always been, yeah.
Right. He
He's
doesn't
always
look
been like
chubby or
Yeah.
anything, but someone said, man, Zion's on a mission. Can we stop?
No.
Do we have to do this?
Yeah. No, and I think the problem is if Zion looks the same, that's kind of the problem, isn't
Right.
it? Like, I think
Right.
we're at the point now where we kind of should understand Zion needs to lose some of those, whether it be muscle or whatever. Like, he needs to trim out a little bit, because I think it's just his explosive game is just too much for his body. And like, I don't think he's going to be able to carry around that weight for the rest of his career. Like, I don't think the dude is going to be Charles Barkley.
No. And Zion, he might be the biggest tweener in the history of tweeners.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to do with him.
He's like 6'6". Like,
Right.
he's a guard, but
Yeah.
he plays power forward / center. Like, and he's one of the most intriguing prospects, I guess, because he still really is a pro.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't really developed into an NBA. Like, I don't even know how many games he's played in his career. It's got to be under 150. Like, he when he plays, it's an MVP level, and it's something that I've never seen before in my lifetime. But part of it is if he plays. Like, you can't, especially with a superstar caliber player. It's like Kawhi Leonard and Paul, more so Kawhi Leonard. But
Right.
like, if you can't be relied on, you're really not a star in the first place. You're a nice piece, but if you can't be relied on, that's what makes LeBron James, Steph Curry, all those guys who they are. Is they're there for their teams when they really need it. And I don't even know if Zion could last a playoff series. Could he last 3 playoff series? His history doesn't say so.
Brandon Ingram is a little shorter than Chet Holmgren, but there were some conversations about how skinny he is.
Right.
And it's funny because what is going on in New Orleans, where it's like between Zion and Brandon Ingram, you have the perfect body type,
Yeah, exactly.
but they just have all these pieces that just don't really
That's hilarious.
seem to be able to fit, but they're so close.
Yeah.
They're so close. And
then you got Jose Alvarado.
Then you got
5'8".
literally you have everything. You have all the shapes and colors that you could need down in New Orleans. And we have conversations. We're talking before the show starts, and we're talking about, okay, tiers and who's going to take a leap. We didn't mention Zion once.
No.
Not once.
No. I mean, he can't be relied on. I mean, that's the biggest thing is like, I just don't know how many different ways I could say it.
No.
If you don't play basketball, you can't be an asset to your team. Yes, when you play, and when Zion played last year, the Pelicans were incredible. Again, they were the 1 seed in the Western Conference in December.
Yeah.
And then Zion got hurt in the entire. Did they make the play-in tournament? Did they barely sneak into the play-in tournament? I think they barely snuck into the play-in tournament.
Yeah, there was no X when we were looking yesterday. Yeah. So if they did, they barely got in.
And it's like, it's a team that has the talent to do so, but I don't know how else to say it, but if you're not going to play games, your team's not going to be successful because the success is built into you playing.
Yeah.
They can't. Brandon Ingram is a totally fine player. He really struggled this summer in the FIBA games, but he's not good enough to elevate that team to anywhere near where they could be if Zion plays. And it's like the Clippers. It's the same conversation of you can't really put them in the conversation of top teams in the Western Conference or even in the league, because realistically you can't expect him to be there, or you don't know how many games he will be there for.
And I feel, going back to Brandon Ingram, because he was a guy, he got called, we call him a baby Durant for a hot second.
Oh yeah.
And he has his streaks, and I don't know if it's really due to injury or what it is, but I've decided he's just a guy that can get hot.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
you just hope that he doesn't get hot against your team in the fourth quarter. But besides that, I'm sorry, Brandon Ingram, you're not in those conversations.
No,
you could be, and you could elevate, but I'm not even you can't even have the Donovan Mitchell conversation. You can't have those, in my opinion, with Brandon Ingram, not right now.
Absolutely. No. And that's a fantastic point, and I haven't even really thought about it, but Brandon Ingram is somebody who he's got everything working for him. He's got the jump shot. I mean, I guess the body is the only thing, but even then he's got long arms. He's 6'10", 6'11", and I think he's capable, to your point, when he's hot, he's one of the best scorers in the NBA. I think he had a streak last year where he had like 15 straight games of 25 plus points. He can light it up if he's got it going, but again, it's not, if it's not with health, it's with him. It's just consistency in general. And I think the thing that he struggled with in FIBA this year was learning how to play off of others as well. If he doesn't have the ball in his hands, what kind of player is he? And that's, superstars have to learn how to play off the ball as well.
Yeah.
It's the big Luka thing right now that we keep going back and forth.
Exactly. All right. Got to get to a break. And that is why we're going to circle back to the Ringer.
Let's do it.
And how in the world the Kings are 13 and the Pelicans are 12. All of that and more when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award?
Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I'm looking for fuel injector cleaner. Right now, you can get 2 bottles of STP Super Concentrated Fuel Injector Cleaner for only $10 at AutoZone. Will it also help with my mileage? Get everything you need to restore your performance in MPGs.
Get in the zone.
Wait, is it good for trucks too? Whatever vehicle you have, you can find the right products and parts at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Quick Quack Car Wash is a proud partner of the Sacramento Kings and can't wait for the upcoming season. To celebrate, Quick Quack is giving one lucky duck a pair of lower-level tickets to the Kings home opener versus Golden State on October 27th. Enter for your chance to win this epic opening night showdown by going to SactownSports.com. Be there for the Kings versus Golden State, courtesy of Quick Quack, where you can wash your car all you want with an unlimited membership.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We're back. Sactown Sports. Stiles and Watkins getting after it here. We're talking disrespect. And the Ringer is being a little disrespectful to the Kings, but what's new? We just talked about the Pelicans and how, yes, they had a nice run and they were top seed in the West in December, but that was December.
Yeah, it was a
What happened after December?
They were one of the worst teams in the league, frankly.
You fell off.
Yeah, big time.
You fell off. All right, so the Kings are at 13 for the Ringer preseason power rankings, and then you have the Pelicans at 12, the Knicks at 11, which I don't really understand either.
Yeah, that's crazy, especially when you're just talent for talent. Like, the Kings are head and shoulders, in my opinion, better than the Knicks.
You know, during the break, I thought about something because we were talking about guards earlier. And Damian Lillard, and it came to me because I was thinking about the Pelicans and CJ McCollum. And they tried to do I don't know what, they didn't have a nickname or anything, but they had the two, that was a conversation between, at one point, Steph and Clay or Dame and CJ, and we know what ended up happening there. Yeah. But that was a conversation. Then, I believe at one point, they had CJ and Nurkic together. And I'm starting to think here, has Damian Lillard played with better players, than maybe we think in our head, going back to just being a chucker and throwing up shots? And B, has he played with better players in totality than De'Aaron Fox?
I would say Dame, because I have also heard, especially with the teammates he has now, that conversation of, has Dame really ever played with anyone good has arisen? I push back on that for sure.
Not superstar. He's never been on a super team, but he wasn't playing with scrubs.
He was playing with LaMarcus Aldridge, who was at that time especially. He was one of the best players. He was an all-star. He was, I don't know if he made All-NBA, but he was one of the best forwards in the NBA. He played with Nick Batum, who before Nick Batum had that really bad stint in Charlotte. Nick Batum was a really promising young forward who pretty much every team in the league would have wanted to have on their team. CJ was great. I would say I would definitely push back on the Dame hasn't played with anyone in his career talk, because CJ and him we were talking about duos yesterday. Him and CJ were perennially, absolutely top 10, but there was sometimes certain seasons where they would be top 5 duos in the NBA.
Right.
And really no one would question it.
And they gave up on it pretty quick in a weird way. Not quick, but maybe I have the Celtics on the brain because they refused to quit with Jalen and Jason. But yeah, De'Aaron Fox and where he ranks and how we view him, I think his elevation and elevating the team might be a little undersold because he's not getting compared. He's not Damian Lillard, but I don't know that has he played with anybody the level of LaMarcus Aldridge yet.
I would say Sabonis is at that level now. Like, Sabonis made third team All-NBA as the center. He was not going to ever make the first or the second team because he's not to the caliber of Embiid or Jokic. But he's still really good. And I would say LaMarcus was probably in that category, if not right there, of being around a third team All-NBA player. I would say that they've played, but even then, Fox doesn't have that CJ McCollum level player. And I think they're hoping Keegan can reach there. And you can maybe argue that the totality, especially now, maybe this will be the season where we can maybe say, okay, De'Aaron as a team has played with better teammates than Dame has. But, I think where it stands right now, I think your point is valid that De'Aaron really hasn't had much help. And I think this is the first year where you can tangibly, or last year, I guess, was the last year you could say he had a good team around him, and look what he did with it. He turned it into a 3-seed, turned it into a playoff team in the first year in that system together. And, obviously there's tons of credit to go around, but the main thing that changed was De'Aaron Fox got some teammates that could actually help him. And not only did it provide career years for Domantas Sabonis and for the Sacramento Kings, but De'Aaron Fox himself also elevated his game. So I think that with this team being better, with more weapons, you have to worry about more weapons on the Kings. I think it'll only be better for De'Aaron. And I think there's a really good chance that we do see him take another leap, even if it's not necessarily going 3 more points per game. It could just be he's even more efficient than what he was before because he's able to pick and choose his spots a little more closely.
Right. And the Kings are going to find themselves in an interesting situation because there's regular season success and then there's postseason success. And obviously the Kings want to win the whole thing. They've been very open about that. Now, we've had the conversation about windows and where they are on that track. And Kings, the front office and the management might have some decisions to make, because is it, look, this is what we've created organically, we're going to rock with it, see how far it takes us in a loaded West, or is it, even if they are rolling, and I don't like James Harden, I wouldn't go get James Harden at all, but
go big fish hunting.
You might have to. You might have to, or do you say, we're going to let these guys duke it out for now, we're young, and we will be more on the track with the we'll handle the Grizzlies. We'll let the Lakers and the Warriors age out. I do think that those are conversations that they have behind the closest of doors, right? The lock vaulted doors, because you don't want fans to ever think that you're not going for gold. But at the same time, I think the Kings enjoy, and the Kings fans enjoy doing it the organic way. And
for sure.
We've seen it. How often, the thing about the big fish hunting is, off the top of your head, how often has it worked?
You know, Whitey brought this up to me the other day after the Dame trade. Really not as often as what you would think. Like, you know, and I think it's because the initial reaction always when these things happen is, oh, league's done, league's cooked, it's over, Milwaukee wins the finals, why even play the season? And then you think of, I mean, I remember to the T where I was when Paul George and Kawhi linked up for the Clippers. And you could not have told me in that moment that the Clippers weren't going to win 2 of the next 3 championships or whatever. And here we are, what is this, 4 or 5 years later, they really haven't, they barely made noise in the playoffs. And I think, to your point, like it never or rarely does work out as smoothly as what it did with the Warriors and Kevin Durant. I think that's kind of polluted our minds to think that, okay, you go and make that move, it's going to work out for you. It just is. And you look no further than Brooklyn. I mean, that Brooklyn situation had everything going for you. You had KD, Kyrie, James Harden. You had Steve Nash as your coach. It was all set up for them. And even they imploded before it even really got started there. So to your point, I mean, rarely does it actually ever pan out.
It rarely pans out when it happens in the offseason, and it really rarely pans out.
Great point, right.
Before the trade deadline. We're going to make
Kyrie last year.
We're going to make this quick move. So I think the Kings are going to roll with what they have. I wouldn't touch James Harden at all. No. Because you know that Keegan Murray is in that package.
Yes, he is.
He's in that package.
He has to be.
And I personally, we were talking about down on Luka, down on whoever. I'm down on James Harden.
Yes,
you know, I'm watching First Take this morning, and Stephen A says what he says. He doesn't enjoy what James Harden's doing, and caveats it with, I mean, he's balling. He's box office.
He's balling.
He's balling right now. And I'm thinking, is he really? Is he? I mean, to the level of is he really we could do it based on Vegas. If you drop James Harden on, I don't know, you could drop him on the Warriors, switch out James Harden
for Klay Thompson or something.
Klay Thompson, Chris Paul, whoever. How much does he move the needle at this point?
Well, I think the big question with him is just like his personality. Like, I think it's like James Harden, the player or the skill set. Sure, like any coach would say, oh, yeah, give me that and I can figure out how to. But then James Harden, the person, steps in and it's like he just marches to the beat of his own drum. And like he doesn't play basketball, especially if you were to put him on the Warriors. He's not a Warrior player.
No.
Like he's got it. It's James's way or the highway. And if you're not going to play the ball with James Harden with the ball in James Harden's hand, he's not going to be interested in playing for your team.
And the thing about it is you also don't know if he's going to play. I mean, who do you trust more to finish the season? Kyrie or James Harden? I have no clue.
I have no idea.
Because I would say, can I just say none of the above?
None. Yeah, please.
None of the above. So I think the Kings have what they have.
Yeah.
They're going to roll with who they have and just think that it's enough. And if it's not enough, they will address it in the offseason. Yeah. But I don't see any weird midseason things, even if it's a stinker. Because even if it's a stinker, let's just wear it and really assess where we're at. Yeah. But I don't think there are going to be any hasty moves made because, as we've kind of discussed, that doesn't really pan out as well. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we will talk about the NBA team that we're all sleeping on besides the Kings. That and more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Do you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals that help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Save Mart, and Winco, or a local grocery store near you.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at revivemenshealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings training camp is underway. Ferenci Cardicelli and Brennan Nunez have been out at Golden One Center covering camp. You can read their news and notes at SactownSports.com. In football, the New England Patriots are trading for former big money free agent J.C. Jackson from the Chargers in exchange for a late-round pick swap. And in baseball, it's day 2 of the wild card round. Right now, Texas and Tampa Bay are tied 0-0 in the bottom of the second. And the Blue Jays and Twins will be getting started in about an hour here on the show. Reminder, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Now, let's return to more of Stiles and Watkins right here on Sactown Sports.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We are back. I was wondering, did you want me to let it drop for you, Kyle? There it goes. There it goes. Simone is feeling it as well. This is the one. This is the one.
Literally the one.
Kyle,
This is
big
the only one.
Roddy Rich guy.
Yeah, big Roddy Rich guy.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. We are back, and we are talking about sleepers. And we know the Kings are being slept on. Let's talk about who else, specifically in the West, but we can break it out to the East too, of teams that are being slept on. And you threw out a name during the break.
Yep.
And that would be one of my picks as well. And that name was the T-Wolves.
Yep.
And I just think the T-Wolves get blinded a little bit, or fans get blinded a little bit by the fact that fans do not like Karl Anthony Towns.
They hate him. They really hate
and
Karl
they don't
Anthony
like
Towns.
Rudy Gobert.
Legitimate.
They might be. They would be easy. And I don't know if you saw the Netflix movie with Anthony Edwards when he was in it.
Oh yeah,
great movie,
fantastic.
And he played a villain in the movie with him along with Carl Anthony. Now Carl Anthony, they're kind of too goofy to be villains.
Yes.
Rudy Gobert and Carl Anthony Towns.
Right.
But if they started winning, they could pull it off. They might be a team getting slept on a little bit because they have a couple pieces. People are really high on Anthony Edwards. What would you say about the T-Wolves and another sports cliche, making some noise?
Yeah. I mean, I think that your first point is really the biggest one. I think it's the fact that so many people hate Karl Anthony Towns and hate Rudy Gobert. It's actually really funny because you could argue that those two are the most hated players in the NBA, and they're teamed up with Anthony Edwards, who might be one of the most loved and adored players in the NBA. But I do think that goes a really long way. And I do think actually a part of the reason why people don't like Karl Anthony Towns is because of the lack of success that team has had. And frankly, how Karl Anthony Towns sometimes no-shows in the biggest games for that team. So, they might go hand in hand, but I think the Timberwolves have all of the talent to get it done. I mean, those three guys is more than enough already to have a good team. And then you throw in, to me, the most underrated move of last year that just didn't get talked about enough. And this is kind of telling more so how I feel about things. But I think swapping out D'Angelo Russell for Mike Conley is one of the biggest upgrades that you can have in sports. I think Mike Conley is like the ultimate professional. Like we talk about Harrison Barnes here, that is what Mike Conley is in pretty much all of the same ways. Just a very steadying presence, not someone who is ever going to be too high or too low, but just always keeping things balanced. I really like Chris Finch, their head coach. Last year I think was just tough on everybody trying to figure out how to seamlessly fit Gobert into that rotation, but I think they have all the talent if they can figure it out. I just think it is a really big if, because it's hard to play with Rudy Gobert. And I think, especially with having Karl Anthony Towns and they re-signed Naz Reid this offseason, I think it's just going to be trying to figure out the best lineups to throw out there. And, frankly, I mean, we were just having the conversation and Whitey popped in during the break and made a great point, which he always does. But when you trade for somebody like the Timberwolves did for Gobert last offseason, and they gave the farm and then some, they gave away the animals, they gave away the building, everything, the lease, the deed. And I think it's tough when you lose a good amount of talent to try and recoup and still be a good team moving forward. And it wouldn't surprise me if this year the Timberwolves are just a lot more steady. And I don't know if they'll ever reach that. I think however good Anthony Edwards is going to determine overall how good they are. Yeah. But I think that they're going to be in that playoff race for sure.
Yeah, and that's definitely a team I would pick to quote unquote make some noise or be a dark horse.
Yeah.
And I would also say OKC.
For sure.
Now,
for sure.
I don't know that they're necessarily being slept on, because I do think everyone thinks that they're going to take a leap. OKC to me is how Justin Fields was being hyped before the season. He's going to take a jump. He's going to take a leap. So hopefully they don't take the leap.
Actually Justin Fields.
Right. By the way, sidebar on Justin Fields, because I meant to tell you this yesterday.
Yeah.
So one thing I like to do when I'm just bored at home is go on Tankathon.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason. And did you know right now the Chicago Bears have the first and second pick in this coming NFL draft? So what if Caleb Williams says
crazy.
no, and they say, wait, we'll just try again. We have two. Is it crazy to think? Let's say he does not want to go to the Bears.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say he does not want to go to the Bears.
Sure.
If you were the Bears and if the quarterback is the most important player, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Is it insane to draft two quarterbacks back to back at 1 and 2 and say, one of you got to hit? Give me Drake May and Shador Sanders or whoever. Or if you get Caleb, you don't have to do that.
I thought maybe you were going to say I guess it would have to be if Caleb Williams' name is available in the draft. I thought you were saying maybe he'll sit out or I don't know.
No, I'm saying if he does.
At that point,
if he does.
If he opts out of the draft, it's just so tough. Because you could argue, there's the argument, because on the surface, if someone's like, yes, you're crazy, that makes no sense at all. Why would you do that? Pick a franchise, just pick one, and then use the other and take Marvin Harrison Jr. or something with the second pick. But the only other example that I have that's even close to this is what Washington did with RG3 and Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And you could argue that that was really, really smart by them because they did get a really good season at RG3, but they also had the backup plan of Kirk Cousins, which ended up, I mean, we've seen what Kirk's done with that. So maybe at 1 and 2, it might be a little wild, and you can maybe argue that that's not utilizing your assets to the best of their capabilities.
Kirk Cousins was a 5th-round pick.
I thought it was 3rd. I thought it was 4th. Oh, well, we're all over the board. And I mean, it's not that, but that's just like the most recent example that comes to mind. But you could also argue that I think that, quarterback is the most valuable thing, especially a young quarterback, and even a quarterback, an unknown quarterback could be incredibly valuable in sense of like, hey, we don't play this guy, so we don't know what he is, but he still has the talent. So you could argue that they could take both and try them both out and pick one and then shop the other. And who even knows what that value would be. There's an argument for it. I don't foresee it happening, obviously, but I think that there is, just as a thought experiment.
Allen got it right. 4th-round pick.
Thank you. Yeah,
you like that?
I do like that. Look, they're not going to do it, but just a quick sidebar because it is just hilarious to me, and we know the value. These guys, honestly, it's like cars, right? I mean, Trey Lance, he barely got to play, and people just still assumed it's as much about his play as it is. There's guys coming out every year.
Right.
So, Trey, you're 3-4 years in now. We got guys coming. So, and you got a CJ Stroud who pops up and he's balling. So, they're not going to do it, but my goodness, would it be funny. But getting back to OKC and a team that's being slept on, I don't know that I would even consider them being slept on because I think everyone does expect them to take that jump. Weirdly enough, and I don't know why we've talked about Luka so much on this show. Is it possible that the Mavericks are being slept on?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think anyone's really because they didn't even make the play. Like, they were the 11 seed last year, and I don't think there's really much. I think it's just people don't know what to expect. I think they're aware that there's a possibility that the Dallas Mavericks figure things out, and with the 2 talented players they have, figure out enough to be a play-in team, or maybe even a 5 or 6 seed. But I just think this is more. It's more of a compliment to the West and just how deep it is. Because you could say Dallas. There's a percentage chance. There's a certain amount of universes in which Dallas does make that leap or does surprise people, but it's just so deep, and there's so many other teams that you don't have to wince and kind of see the playoff picture for them that. There's just other people. I mean, they're just kind of lost in the shuffle. And I don't know if that's being slept on or if it's just, hey, what you say is legitimate, but there's also teams in front of you that just have more legitimate cases than you.
The Ringer has the Mavericks at 17. So
I mean, it's middling, but it's also on the back end of average. And I would say for how they finished last year, I think that's about where they should be. It's still good, but I mean, definitely you still got to prove some things if you want to be considered in the top half of the league still. Right.
So maybe being napped on. Not fully Z'd out, no Z-Quil, no NyQuil, just napped on a little bit. I think that's fair.
A little slumber.
And of course, it's just a quick slumber, power nap. Power nap.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got to get to a break. When we get back, we will be hearing from Chris Duarte interview, another great interview from Whitey and Watkins, all that and more on Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. Or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Restaurants in Roseville and Sacramento, and our newest restaurant, Bennett's West Side Grill at Rockland's Blue Oak Town Center on Lone Tree Boulevard. We believe in serving the freshest handcrafted foods in a warm, convivial setting. We offer a great brunch featuring all your favorite plates, eggs Benedict, omelets, stuffed French toast, and much more. Pair the great food with great mimosas, and the weekend fun has just begun. And did you know that our Bubbles and Brunch special, featuring any 2 brunch entrees and a bottle of bubbles, is just $44 for 2? Having a meeting or large group dinner? Our newest restaurant in Rockland features 3 different event-sized spaces for large group gatherings. 80 guests, no problem. Bennett's Kitchen Bar and Market, Eureka and Lead Hill Roads in Roseville, and Bennett's American Cooking on Fair Oaks and Howe in Sacramento. And our brand new Bennett's Westside Grill at Rockland's Blue Oak Town Center on Lone Tree Boulevard. Find us on the web at bennettsrestaurants.com and book your reservation today. Eat well, stay well, and remember, Bennett's is where you'll always receive a hospitable welcome.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pi customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pi Insurance.
We heard about Pi Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pi a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pi.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pi, or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
The City of Sacramento offers grass conversion rebates to help you replace your thirsty lawn with a naturally water-efficient landscape. Whether you own a home or business in Sacramento, you may be eligible. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Oh, you having fun, Chris Watkins?
Yeah.
Here we are.
A shotgun start, but yeah.
Media Day. Sacramento Kings. We're at the practice facility. We just had a very interesting conversation with Monty McNair. And look who joins us, one of the brand new Sacramento Kings, Chris Duarte. How are you, sir? Welcome to Sacramento.
Thank you. I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
Awesome.
What was your feeling, your emotions when you found out you were headed to Sacramento?
I felt great. I was looking forward to a new opportunity. And especially now coming into Sacramento, when they have something going really, really good, and this is good to be part of that.
You played with Domas in Indiana, and I know you've been asked a ton about that, but I got to ask, what makes playing with him so fun?
I feel like I keep saying the same
I know, I know.
See, I think you made him better.
Exactly, I know. No one talks about that.
Like I said before to the other reporters, Domas, great guy, great person off the court. I don't need to say any stuff on the court because everybody know what he do on the court. But off the court, he's a great person, great human being, great family man, and I love that. I met his family too, and they are also like that, and that's what I really like about him and his family.
His dad was a pretty good player too.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to watch him, but I heard he was really, really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just excited to reunite it with him, get back with him and this amazing group.
Yeah.
A lot of talent, a lot of young guys, good guys on and off the court, which I like that. And I'm just excited to be part of that.
Mm-hmm. Chris Duarte is with us, and we know for a fact a lot of fans very excited when they found out you were coming here. This team obviously offensively off the charts. Defensively, they struggled. What do you see as ways that Chris Duarte can help this team improve upon they had a great season last year?
Well, that's one of the keys, defensively. That's one of our keys is going out there and we have to be better. We know that for you to be able to get to the top, you have to be good defensively. And offensively, we got it. We're right there. We have a lot of guys that can score. So, like I said, I'm just excited to be in this winning culture.
Mm-hmm.
I saw on Instagram mainly that you and Domas linked up almost right after the trade. You guys were working out with Coach Christie, Coach Barbosa. What was that experience like? And, I mean, do you still feel like Barbosa and Doug could, get another year in the league out of them? I feel like, those guys are in some really good shape still.
No, I mean, those two guys, great guys.
Yeah.
Great guys. When I was out there in LA for 3 weeks, had a really, really good time with those guys. And Doug and LB, they've been helping me out a lot. Those two guys, it's good to learn from those two guys, great players back in the days when they played basketball, so they have a lot of knowledge that I can take from there and learn.
Right. Chris Duarte with us. We know that you got off to a great start as a rookie. We know they had some health issues, and we know you're not the type to make excuses, and I'm not asking you to make excuses, but how healthy are you now, and how much did those physical setbacks really make it more difficult for you to play at the level that you are capable of playing at?
I'm healthy. That was one of my main focus, just working on my body. I was just thinking this summer, what I was missing. Why was this happening? I even turned down going to the World Cup with the Dominican national team just to work on my body, focus on me, on myself, mentally and physically. So I'm ready to go and excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you're coming from Indiana. That's with Coach Carlisle. But last year, Mike Brown introduced us to some just a season of craziness. He started off with yelling, and the craziness just continued throughout the year. Some of the greatest quotes you'll ever hear. What are you expecting, or what have you heard about Coach Brown, and what are you expecting him to be throughout the season?
What I heard about him, first thing I heard about him, it was that he's a tough coach, hard-nosed, but he wants the best. He wants the best. He want to get the best out of you. And that you have to play defense. That's what I heard the most about him. You have to be a two-way player with him. Mm-hmm. You have to be all the way in with him. So I like that. I like that because I feel like I'm that type of guy too. So I'm excited for that.
A lot of the league was surprised by how well the Kings played last year. What was it like you viewing them as an opponent last year? Were you surprised by how well they started the season? What was it like being part of a team that was preparing to play last year's Sacramento Kings?
Well, we knew how good of an offensive team they were last year. So it wasn't easy playing against them. You know, they're a fast team. A lot of guys that can score. Fox at the point, Thomas at the 0.5, you know, playing everything. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
But it looks like fun to play that way, right?
It was because, you know, they play together. A lot of pitching and go, a lot of cutting, a lot of low split. One guy go off to 9 and everybody's happy. Then the next guy go off. Like it looks like, you know, everybody's cheering for each other.
Is that kind of the natural way you play basketball?
Yeah. I mean, you guys see him my first year in Indiana, you know, playing with alongside with Sabonis, you know, playing off the ball, playing with the ball, coming off the pick and roll, making play for my teammate defensively, you know. I think, you know, we have something good.
How did this offseason go for you? Did you work on anything specific or was it just kind of general rounding out your game?
Like you say, general around the game, you know, just mostly it was my body, you know, just like I said, working on my body, trying to get as healthy as I could, you know, because for me, it's just being healthy. Right. You know, if I'm healthy, I know I can just go out there and produce and perform and help the team on both sides of the floor.
What do you think of this new guy, Vezenkov? You know, as fans, we look at the video, we maybe see him play an overseas game, and I know you obviously know a lot of people in the game. And we don't have that benefit. But what do you make of this new guy coming over? What do you think of Sasha Vezenkov based on what you know him so far?
Sasha, he's a great human being. He's a great human being. I talk to him every day. And he also speaks Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Which, you know, make me feel a little bit comfortable, you know, because, but he can shoot the thing, you know. He can shoot that thing. So he's excited to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Duarte, welcome to Sacramento. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much.
Happy
guys.
Media
Appreciate
Day.
it.
Good stuff there from Chris Duarte, Whitey, and Watkins. And it leads us into a conversation about who's going to be left out. Yeah. Because this is a stacked lineup, which is a good thing. It's good to have bodies throughout the length of a long season and injuries and just attrition on the bodies, all these things. But when things are rolling or the playoffs, and we know what happened with Alex Len, but there's going to be guys left out. There's going to be some guys that are going to be assumed to be left out. And they're going to be guys that you don't assume to be left out that get left out. So I do think that it's a good problem to have. Just stack your numbers and see what works. But especially for a guy like Duarte who's coming over and is trying to get established, things could be a little shaky to start. I mean, I think that could definitely happen where you have somebody like Davion Mitchell who's already been on the team, knows the system, knows things like that. I could see Coach Brown going to him more at the beginning and then kind of feeling it out based on what ends up working and what doesn't. But let's continue to get into that conversation. And a little bit later, don't worry, you Giants fans out there, we got something for you because Farhan, he's tripping, and we'll tell you why. All that and more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Exergen thermometers are a top choice of medical professionals at highly ranked hospitals across the U.S. With kids back at school, keeping them healthy is important. Make Exergen thermometer the chosen thermometer for your home or business to check for fever, where accuracy matters. When measuring temperature at home and at work, use an Exergen thermometer to keep your family and colleagues safe. Available at Walmart and other participating retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Quick Quack Car Wash is a proud partner of the Sacramento Kings and can't wait for the upcoming season. To celebrate, Quick Quack is giving one lucky duck a pair of lower-level tickets to the Kings home opener versus Golden State on October 27th. Enter for your chance to win this epic opening night showdown by going to SactownSports.com. Be there for the Kings versus Golden State, courtesy of Quick Quack, where you can wash your car all you want with an unlimited membership.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And is swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings training camp is underway, and Frankie Cardicelli and Brennan Nunez have been out at Golden One Center covering camp. You can read their news and notes from training camp up right now at SactownSports.com. Out in football, the Denver Broncos waived pass rusher Randy Gregory after just 10 games after Gregory signed an $82 million contract back in 2022. And in baseball, it's day 2 of the wild card rounds. Adolis Garcia just hit a home run for the Rangers. They lead 1-0 against Tampa in the 4th inning. And the Toronto Blue Jays, Milwaukee Brewers, and Miami Marlins play later tonight, needing a win, or else they will be eliminated. Reminder, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Now let's return for the final hour with Stiles and Watkins here on Sactown Sports.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916. Sactown Sports.
Thank you for that, Kyle. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins got you for one more hour. We got a little bit of Giants talk, a little bit of baseball talk, and a little bit. But first, we want to talk about getting left out. And who's going to get left out? This is something that is not a bad thing. It's just a part of life.
Yep.
When you have a good team and when you have a stacked roster and when you do have strength in numbers, somebody's going to have, I had to. Somebody's going to have to sacrifice. Yep. And that was Andre Iguodala for the Warriors. On other teams, it happens more often than not on championship teams. I would even say the teams that get far, not even championship teams. I know the Lakers had guys. I mean, D'Angelo Russell probably wanted to play more. Yeah. Lonnie Walker could actually give some dudes buckets on other teams. And this is what happens when you just get a collection of talent and decide we'll figure it out later, which is the smart thing to do. So Sacramento, the Rebeam team, the Beam team part 2, who would you say, and I don't know if worried is the right word, but who could you see being, for lack of a better term, left out this season?
Yeah, I'm kind of starting to grow concern that my guy Trey Lyles might be left out of the rotation. And who knows? Again, this is more just where I feel like things are trending. On Media Day, Alex Len told us that he wouldn't be surprised if the Kings roll out some 2 big lineups with him and Alex Len and Sabonis, or it could be McGee and Sabonis, could be Len and McGee. Who knows? So that, I mean, coming into this season, especially knowing that Sasha Vezenkov was coming in to essentially be the backup 4, everyone assumed that Trey Lyles was going to get the backup 5 minutes, and they were just going to run a small ball rotation because it worked against some teams. It famously last year worked against Minnesota when they had Gobert, just being able to pull him out of the paint and all the advantages that you get from doing that. So I think just the combination of those two things, the fact that Sasha's there and Len saying what he said, it just makes me feel like there might not be as many minutes for Trey Lyles this season as what we had all been expecting, and frankly, what I was hoping for. I really like Trey Lyles at the 5. I think it's going to be something they still will experiment with, but it doesn't sound like that's going to be the established rotation that they're going to go with.
Yeah, we have Trey Lyles sound, so let's hear from him.
Is it Len or is it
Len or Lyles?
Len, sorry about that.
Let's hear Len.
I mean, it's no secret that in that playoff series, you guys really struggled with the glass and controlling the glass. And, Kevon Looney had himself a fantastic series. What adjustments can you guys make this year to make sure that just doesn't happen again?
We'll see what coach come up with. But that game 7 was tough, though. Like, it felt like just the ball was just bouncing their way every single time, especially in that third quarter. But I feel like Coach talked about he might try to play 2 centers at the same time, like either Domas and me, Domas and JaVale. So we'll see if that works.
Yeah, I mean,
there you go.
It's just I had misheard it initially. He said Coach said, like, it's not even like, oh, I've been hearing or we've been working. He said Coach said that we'll go to those looks, and I would assume it'd be against specific teams. Some bigger lineups if they don't feel like pulling the center out would be a good idea. But it really, I'm a huge Trey Lyles fan. I like to say that I started the Trey Bay coalition.
There you go.
But I mean, it feels like things are trending. Especially, I just don't think the Kings are going to want to keep Sasha off the floor.
Right.
Is really what it ends up coming down to.
And again, when somebody hits, and just what we talked about with Sasha, when somebody hits, you can only play so many guys. Here on the YouTube chat, you have from Arthur Smith, I like Mike Brown's lineup, and yes, few players would be left out, especially on a winning team, even if a major injury, and please don't. He has much of that covered, and these players will be good in the system. And also from Manny Too Legit, here we go. I love things like this.
Body language.
I love the tinfoil hats, Manny Too Legit. Trey Lyles didn't really look happy on media day.
Woo!
You were there.
Yeah. I unfortunately didn't get to see Trey or talk to Trey. I think Dave and Jason got an interview with him, but it's interesting. I did get a physical look at him, and he does look like he got bigger. Like this offseason, or last offseason, I should say, he came into media day looking really trim. He lost a ton of weight and said
so not good big, you're saying?
Yeah, like I'm more saying he looks stronger this year, and more saying so I think he thought he was going to get a lot of minutes at center this year. And it wouldn't surprise me if because the rebounding was not just an issue in that playoff series, it was an issue all season long for the Kings. Domantas Sabonis led the NBA in rebounds per game, and the Kings were still middle of the pack in team rebounding. And so that tells me nobody else really felt that they needed to pay attention to the glass. And I think that it's going to be a real balance that Mike Brown's going to have to find, because I do think a big reason why they didn't go big last year is because of what it would do to your offense. It would muck it up. You don't want to, especially in today's NBA, having 2 centers is almost completely taboo. And so that was the reason why they wouldn't do it. But I don't know. I mean, you could argue that their defensive deficiencies were bad enough to where it warrants and justifies going to that 2 center look.
Right. So you have Trey Lyles. That's one of the big men. So basically it could be big men, middle men, and the small guys in terms of in each rotation who could get left out. Who else do you have for me?
I think Chris Duarte is on the list. I more so lean that he'll probably get some minutes. Whether I don't think it's going to come at the 2 because of you kind of have Herter and Monk locked into all 48 of those minutes. I could see him coming in for that 3 position, whether it be Keegan or HB. I could see him coming in for 15 or so minutes in a game. But to your point, I think you said it earlier, the Kings' big advantage, especially in the Western Conference to start the season, is their continuity.
Right.
And obviously you would be getting rid of your continuity to an extent if you're going to be playing a ton of your new guys. I think that they're going to ease guys like Chris Duarte in to where he's going to feel comfortable and know what to expect from him when he comes in. So I could see Duarte. And then I also mentioned Kessler Edwards, who got traded for the Kings last year, got a lot of minutes at that backup 3, more specifically when they were trying to do a more defensive heavy lineup. I just don't know if to the ultimate point of this segment, like with the amount of depth that they have, the amount of guys that they need to get to, I just think Kessler Edwards is so far down that list that it would have to be Devin Booker's given us 30 through 2.5 quarters. Let's put somebody out there that we can, a fresh body that it will at least pay attention defensively. And so I just have a tough time seeing Kessler Edwards after a pretty lackluster summer league as well, getting significant minutes this year.
You're not worried about Davion Mitchell?
I am in the long run. Okay. And we've kind of discussed that a little bit more so off air, but I think that this is just going to have to be a really big proving season for Davion. Like, this is where Davion establishes, okay, are you just a backup point guard? Are you even a backup? Are you a specialist? Or do you have some potential? Like, are you knocking on the door of being like a fringe starter in that Tyus Jones kind of range, like we were talking about earlier? Because we can't forget this dude was a top 10 draft pick. And with that, I'm sorry, it comes expectations. And you can't be, I said this to you yesterday, Patrick Beverley is a person that people comp Davion to.
Right.
That's fine and dandy. Patrick Beverley was undrafted. Like, there's a difference when you're taking, and it's the same thing with Keegan Murray to a different extent. When you're taking where you are in the draft, there's expectations that come with that, for better or for worse, for right or for wrong. And Davion's a top 10 pick. Yes, he's drafted to be a backup, but he needs to show, hey, this guy can be a spot starter. If De'Aaron Fox misses 10 games, you should be okay because Davion Mitchell is good enough.
Yes.
If he's not to that level, I would think, my personal timeline would be trade deadline. I wouldn't be afraid to go out there and look for an actual playmaking backup point guard. But I think this year in general is just a big Davion. You got to show what your worth is to this team, and frankly, what your worth is to the league, because you know how it is. Like, you're not just auditioning for the team you're on. You're auditioning for every team out there who might be interested in your services.
And I think he understands that.
Yeah.
Now, pressure bust pipes or it makes diamonds.
Yes, sir.
Because that is exactly what's probably on his mind.
Right.
I got to show up and show out because I haven't played to the level that I would like to. And if I don't even know where I'm going to end up, because you're talking about a trade. You're not necessarily talking about a trade that includes Davion, because we don't even know what Davion's value is. He might be thrown into it,
exactly,
but he is not at the point right now where he would be headlining a trade that would help the Kings. So he understands that, but I guess he's got to find a way to, as the old saying goes, make it so that the coach just can't take you out.
Can't take you off
for what that role is. Obviously, he's not going to take over any De'Aaron Fox's minutes or anything like that, but you are a go-to guy.
Yeah.
We talk so much about young guys who defensively don't have it. He has it.
He's got it.
You
And
just
then
have
some.
to,
Yeah.
You just have to figure out offensively, who are you going to be? Because you're right. Patrick Beverley is cool, and he's got a nice podcast, and he memes, and he's a dog. He's a dog, but he's not somebody that I think Davion Mitchell would want to be comped to later in his career, right? When he's in the prime of his career. Maybe right now to start, okay, it is similar in a way to Kuminga a little bit.
Sure.
Because Kuminga,
same draft too.
Same draft, and Kuminga, now his athleticism is through the roof.
Yeah, ridiculous.
But in terms of, hey, Kuminga, we need you to do some things. We want to give you more opportunity, but you need to do these things first and do them at a high level. I think you could make the argument that Kuminga is they're going to need him because they need fresh legs to get through the season.
For sure.
Davion is going to have to knock the door down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I mean, he knows it better than anyone. He said it during the summer on a podcast, but he knows that the reason he didn't play in Game 6 and especially in Game 7 when it felt like the Kings needed him most was because he wasn't making shots. And Mike Brown couldn't, it's great if you can shut somebody down, but you also got to give something on the other end. You can't just be sitting in the corner. You can't be Gary Payton II, who's another guy who you could compare Davion's game to right now, but again, is an undrafted guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's got to show that he's able to provide a spark offensively. And he doesn't have to be Malik Monk of a spark, but he's got to be something where you can't forget about him on the floor. And frankly, I think it would go a long way if he could be more of a playmaker. Like, yeah, it is nice to make shots, but at the end of the day, he's 6 feet tall and that's maybe being generous.
Yeah.
He's got to be a point guard. Like, you can't just put him in the corner and say, hey, you're a 37% spot up shooter, stand in the corner, because he's 6 feet tall. Like, you can find other people who are bigger and give something else. It might not be to the level of Davion's defense, but you can find someone else who can impact the game and stand in the corner on offense, essentially.
But then maybe it gets to the point where it just wasn't a great pick, right?
Yeah.
And we do this
100%.
thing where Trey
try and
Lance,
make it
shout
work.
out, we'll see you this week in Dallas, but we do this thing where he was the third overall pick. Maybe he wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
You know, maybe Davion was drafted too high because the way you're describing him now, I mean, all these kids, Kuminga, all they want to do, they want to grow their bag. If Davion can't develop a bag, I mean, you can't be Lil Wayne, you can't be Duffel Bag Boy, so we got to ship you out of here. So I think it's going to be really intriguing to see what happens to Davion. And, you know, there are a lot of guys waiting in the wings, and they want to be a part of this roster. They are a part of this team and a part of this rotation. So we got to get to a break. When we get back, it is time. We are going to play the sound from Farhan Zaidi when he references a very famous show that I personally think is a smidge overrated, but it's a good show. It's a good show. It's a good show. That's all of that and more when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Restaurants in Roseville and Sacramento, and our newest restaurant, Bennett's West Side Grill at Rockland's Blue Oak Town Center on Lone Tree Boulevard. We believe in serving the freshest handcrafted foods in a warm, convivial setting. We have a fantastic happy hour featuring shareable plates, wine, priced from just $6. And get this, we feature happy hour 7 days a week, 2 to 6 p.m. So grab a friend and come in and have some fun. Bennett's Kitchen Bar Market, Eureka and Lit Hill Roads in Roseville, and Bennett's American Cooking on Fair Oaks and Howe in Sacramento. Speaking of our newest restaurant in Rockland, we feature live fire grilling over mesquite wood. We are smoking our own salmon, chicken, and cheese. You have to eat it to believe it. Want a nice seafood platter? West Coast oysters, Dungeness crab, wild Mexican prawns, Bering Sea, snow crab claws. Look no further than Bennett's West Side Grill. Find us on the web at bennettsrestaurants.com and book a reservation today. Eat well, stay well, and remember, Bennett's is where you'll always receive a hospitable welcome.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins. Taking a little break from the Kings. Took a break from the Niners today, too. But again, what are we talking about?
It's the middle of the week, too. Like, I mean, to your point, there's not really much to talk about anyway, unless you just want to hear us rant and rave about
how
really good the Niners are and how deep they are. And
even the Thursday night game is Chicago and Washington this week.
Come on, man. Why?
Do we have to?
Yeah.
Come on.
You know what? Let me ask you this question, though, because my mom is from Panama.
Shout out
Panama. Love it. Got to go if you've never been.
Yeah, I was going to say.
My dad is from Chicago, but he doesn't. He was more of a basketball guy. Chicago, the Bulls. You do that math.
Do the math, yeah.
So I didn't really grow up, even though I went to De La Salle, I didn't really grow up with football, right? And I like football. I really do. But when people say, I don't care if football's football, if that game doesn't get off to the right foot on Thursday, I'm not watching it.
Yes.
I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
So are you in the camp? Is it football is football? Will you watch anything?
No. I will not watch anything, especially with bad football. Like I just can't. I cannot sign up for it. Like football doesn't get enough of a rap, and my girlfriend, frankly, has really opened my eyes to this because I've been trying to introduce her to football and see it because she loves basketball. Will watch any game. Doesn't matter. It can be Hornets, Raptors. She'll watch it. But I'm like trying to get her to watch football, and she's really pointed out just all of like the slow points, all of the weird rules, all the stoppages.
There's a lot of stopping.
And like, especially for like, and this isn't an exciting, I'm showing her Chiefs Bills and I'm like, come on, like it doesn't get better than this.
Right.
And I think, this is just a long way of saying for the most part, no, like it's got to be entertaining. I need touchdowns. I need some storylines too at the bare minimum to follow. I'm not just going to watch Justin Fields go against CJ Stroud just because it's great, like, or just because those are too exciting. Like, no, I need it to be a good game between two good teams.
Yes.
If your team is bad, there's nothing worse than just having to watch a season of bad football.
Right. And I know fantasy is a big part of that.
Right.
And
that's
I have this guy, and a lot of people won't admit it that's why, and me personally, if I don't have any shows to fire up, then maybe I'll throw in a FanDuel and give myself a reason to care.
Watch.
But if I got some shows, if I got some Love Island or whatever I need to watch, I will probably watch that over a dumpster fire. And that's what I'll give it a chance at the beginning. And then I don't know, life is too precious. You know what I mean? Yeah. I gotta keep it pushing.
Yeah,
I gotta keep it pushing.
It's our jobs to watch these things, but even sometimes you got to give yourself a little mental health break and say, look, I know it's my job technically to watch this, but this is I need a break.
Well,
this is a good time to break.
As much as this is a dream job, in every job there's stuff that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
I really don't want to audit this. I really don't want to fill this out.
Exactly.
But I guess it's part of the job. But if you're making me, I'll do it, but I really don't want to.
No, I'm right there with you.
Let's get to this Farhan sound. We're just going to play some of it because it's a little long, comparing how the Giants team is set up to the hit show on Hulu, The Bear.
One of the shows I've been watching kind of therapeutically over the last couple months is The Bear. I don't know how many people here watch that show. And there's an episode in the second season about one of the characters in the show who goes and works as a stage at this 3-star Michelin restaurant. Do you watch the show? No, okay, right. Not that one. I'm talking about when he goes to work at the restaurant, the episode Forks. Yeah. So anyway, I promise I'm going somewhere with it.
Everyone watch The Bear, though. It's fantastic.
It's an amazing show. So anyway, this guy's a little annoyed at the fact he works as a stage. The first week, all he's doing is cleaning forks, and then the next week he's cleaning spoons, and it's like really mundane. But the episode really revolves around the story and narrative behind a sign that's up in the restaurant kitchen that says every second counts. And it's just sort of, when I was watching that, I really identified with it, because to be a part of excellence anywhere, it just, no detail can be too small. And for us, I think, that's what we want our brand to be, that every second counts.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
That was a little bit long to just kind of say.
What are we talking
about? We need
about?
to maximize every day.
I'm so out, man.
That's very much like you said for the tease that show's a little bit overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Bear. I thought it was great, but it does kind of remind me of like when Ted Lasso was first out and everyone was like, you got to be like a goldfish and like, believe. And it's just like, I don't know. It was a little corny to me, definitely a little cringe for sure. And to me, just a little long-winded too, to essentially say, yeah, we need to make every day count.
It struck me as I'm trying to be the smartest person in the room type deal. And that stuff I'm not really great on. Here's my thing, Farhan. You know what they have in Michelin star restaurants? They have top chefs. Who are the top chefs that the Giants have?
That's not what he took from that. That's not what he took from that
He decided I can take mid chefs and somehow create a Michelin star restaurant.
You're not a fan of 5-star chef Michael Conforto?
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's really just whipping it up. We don't have Gordon Ramsay.
No.
Okay, we don't have Bobby Flay. We don't even have Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
We don't have any of these guys.
You have Anthony DeSclafani.
You have Anthony DeSclafani, who, you know, maybe
it sounds like a cook.
Sounds like a cook. He might be a better cook than pitcher, at least maybe this past season. So I don't. Farhan, you're really losing me. I am a guy who did cape up a little bit for Gabe Kapler. He was the fall guy.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
What I've always said, and it's funny because we're already talking food here, is Gabe Kapler, when you open your fridge, right, in the middle of the night or whenever it's time to make a midnight snack or dinner, you can only make a meal that's as good as the ingredients you have.
Right.
And I would say for the most part, I'm not talking about whether you liked Gabe Kapler or not. I would just say for the most part, he made some pretty darn good meals with what was in his fridge.
Yeah. Or he just made the meal that was available. Like,
That's
I would
what he
say
did.
when I look at this Giants roster, I say they're probably 500. Like, that's a 500 team. And where are they? Where did they end up? Right around 500.
So let's just do it since we're here. What was the Giants roster in restaurant form? Was it Olive Garden? Was it Red Lobster?
It was definitely like a Chili's, like a yeah.
Give me some Southwestern
like
egg rolls.
Applebee's, maybe.
You have the Chili's,
and
you have.
It was all apps.
Logan
for
Webb
sure.
is my Southwestern egg roll.
Sure,
those hit. Those hit,
and they all got their place. You know,
They
like
all have their
Applebee's
place.
is like, hey, I think they do wings well
Yeah.
or something like
Yep.
you know, that's Logan Webb. Like, you can have a
Yeah.
couple things just because you are Applebee's. It
Right.
doesn't mean that you don't got to have something there. But for the most part, the rest of the menu is Black Bear Diner. It's like it's just a bunch of stock stuff that it's like.
It's just
okay.
I don't understand it. So yes, I'm trying to figure out before I decided to go to Morton's.
Yeah.
I'm looking up everything, and it always cracks me up when restaurants. 'Cause I'll watch Bar Rescue and
so good.
all these shows where if the menu is too big, you have a problem.
Yes,
now,
totally.
Yard House does very well.
They do.
They do.
They do.
But I felt like I was taking the SATs reading their menu. It was just all over the place. I'm scrolling because my dad really likes the jambalaya.
Yeah.
It took me so long. They did like an Asian ribeye, just some bizarre decisions.
Yeah.
It took me about 3 minutes to. I said, did they get rid of the jambalaya? Oh no, it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
They do Asian, they do American. Just pick one thing and do it well.
Right.
And that's what the Giants. That's where they're at right now.
Right.
They don't have an identity.
Yep.
Okay. Farhan's whole thing is I'm going to find these hidden gems and they're going to hit. Some of them did hit.
Right.
You moved off of some of them. I'm watching the playoffs last night. I see Donovan Solano, Donnie Barrels making a play, and then I changed
There's
to the
a lot
other
of
channel.
Giants around
I changed to the other
yesterday.
channel. Evan Longoria is making a diving play. Then I changed from that. And last season, Mauricio Dubon won a World Series.
Yeah, for real.
So there's something just missing.
Right.
There's something missing.
Right.
So for you to sit there and act like you are anything close to Michelin star or the Bear or even the Chicago sandwiches that they made before they got the new restaurant is ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
It is insane. And also shout out, how about you're mentioning some old Giants that were playing yesterday. There was a couple old A's playing yesterday.
A's?
I saw Jesus Luzardo got the game one start. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Christian Pache.
Yeah.
He got a hit yesterday.
He can hit now.
I said, wait, what?
He can hit now.
They just cut him. They just let him go in the first week of the season.
He was basically the Davion Mitchell
yes,
of baseball.
Pretty much.
Great defensive
Incredible.
outfielder, but
Incredible.
could not hit the backside of a barn.
Yeah.
Speaking of, and we're talking about the Rays quickly. So the Rays had the smallest or the smallest
attendance
since the 1919 World Series. What?
And it looked like, and we got the game on here today. Doesn't look like it's much more people in that building. And by the way, it looks like the Rays playoff hopes are over as it's 5-0.
Well, they didn't even have. By the way, quickly, Randy Rosarena. Did you see his mom throw out the first pitch?
I did. Yeah,
she must have played because she has a cannon.
I was like that,
and not
Stephen
only
A.
it looked normal, right?
50
Cent takes some notes. Not only did it look very good, it was a strike.
Yeah,
it was right down the middle. Maybe Farhan should try to draft her. Maybe sign
looking for some gems.
I mean, at this point,
Come on.
I just had to get that off my chest. Farhan. I actually think he gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes. Yeah, but this one was not hitting for me. Not hitting at all.
No, this was not it. This was one of those where I feel like he was like, oh, I got something for y'all.
So you're Steph Curry. Yeah. Did he plan this? And I can't wait. This is gonna be a bar.
1,000% planned it. He 1,000% thought it was gonna be a bar.
Yeah,
and it fell. So he was like, y'all have seen the bear? 2 people. Yeah, I've seen the. Okay, well, that's off to a bad start. And then he just goes on and on. And we didn't even play the full clip. That's like a 2-minute clip.
Yeah.
And he really didn't say much of anything.
Completely unnecessary. Yeah. Hopefully the Giants figure it out. And hopefully Farhan figures it out. Hopefully. But we will figure it out when we get back. We're going back to Kings and a little bit more baseball talk. It's Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
At SimpliSafe, we've designed award-winning home security with advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this 24/7 LifeGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans and will help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report. Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple, to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599 or visit us at revivemenshealth.com.
Get ready for TMC Auctions Ultimate Online Experience. Preview on October 7th and 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Bid on October 10th at TMC Auctions in Roseville for excavators, tools, and more. Join the virtual extravaganza at tmcauction.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings training camp is underway. Our guys Frankie Cardicelli and Brennan Nunez are out at Golden One Center covering camp. You can read their news and notes at SactownSports.com. In football, the Denver Broncos waived pass rusher Randy Gregory 10 games after he signed an $82 million contract in 2022. And in baseball, it's day 2 of the MLB Wild Card rounds. The Texas Rangers are up 5-0 on the Tampa Bay Rays in the top of the 6th, which means Tampa Bay is on their way to being sent home. The Blue Jays, the Brewers, and the Marlins all need a win today, or else they too will be eliminated from the playoffs. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. It's time for the final 30 minutes here with Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins. 30 more minutes, one more segment with you until we get the crosstalk going with Whitey and Draper as we continue to talk Kings.
Yes, sir.
And De'Aaron Fox said something, and I don't know if I believe him. De'Aaron Fox said, we have the sound right here. De'Aaron Fox said he's not interested in playing for Team USA. Here it is.
I'm trying to think of a nice way to put this. Right now, in this very moment, I really don't care what's going on with Team USA. That's not on my mind at all. Like I said, in the future, it could change, but as of right now, I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah, so I think that's completely fair.
Yeah.
Everyone got asked about Team USA.
Right. Even
And
Steph did, yeah.
And LeBron.
Yeah.
And I do think it was kind of weird
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if is it possible that this whole thing with the track star actually has changed how people view, and now with Team USA losing right after that, is there more importance than there was before? And this was FIBA, not the Olympics.
Right.
So this is the big boy. But I did find it a little odd to be, I guess it's coming in 2024, but I did think it was a little odd on NBA Media Day for so many. It was almost like a bunch of media people were told to ask them about it.
That's what I was going to say. This feels like a very, and I'm not usually one to say this, but this feels very media driven. And like this feels like a media narrative that's trying to be pushed right now is, because LeBron did say immediately after the FIBA tournament, he was like, I'm going to get everyone. I want everyone to get in the Olympics. Steph, there was that report that Steph and, pretty much all KD, LeBron, the rest of Clutch, we're going to be on Team USA. And, it was a weird report when it came out, but I don't think that it's really, I think that everyone should have the answer that De'Aaron had. And frankly, just especially on media day, I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm kind of way more concerned about the season and how that plays out. And maybe De'Aaron makes the finals and doesn't have the energy to play for the, I think the bigger point is that these guys are thinking about the regular season right now. They're not thinking that the Olympic conversation will come in due time, but I just don't feel like now is the right time to worry about it.
Well, and it spoke to where a lot of these guys are in their careers, right? Steph has said that, of course, he wants number 5,
right?
But he also already has a couple championships, and he's accomplished a lot in his career.
Steph hasn't done the Olympics, has he?
He didn't do the Olympics, but I know he played for Team USA at some point.
He got the FIBA championship.
Yeah.
Steph has no Olympic gold medals, according to this.
There you go.
So there you go. I mean,
so
that could be something
thing.
for him.
Maybe Carmelo can give him one. Who knows? Carmelo might come back. Actually, we're good. We're good. Actually, Olympic Melo.
Just be Olympic Melo.
You can come back.
He doesn't have to be an NBA player.
Well, it's funny when the list grows, right? And LeBron, same thing. He's accomplished so much, and they want to. It would be a cool swan song. But Draymond hopping on is so funny to me because the last time Draymond was on Team USA, he got no burn.
Yeah,
he was just on the bench the whole time. So all these guys want to play and they're going to make this super team. And Draymond is one of the most confusing players in the history of the game because he played with so many great players. Right. But obviously he's a great player, but how great is he? He's older now. Right. So I don't know, Draymond, if they need you to hey, all right, let's get the band together and win Team USA. Right. Draymond, I don't know if they need you. Right. But thank you for volunteering.
Thank you
your
for your
services.
consideration. Yes, we appreciate it.
The opposite
we'll
of
get back
Gino.
to you.
The opposite of Gino.
Exactly.
They wrote me off. I didn't write back. You know what I mean? I wrote them. They did not write me back. So, good on De'Aaron Fox. He's a guy who zero in, laser focus on what he wants, and it's an NBA championship. Yes, and anybody that doesn't have a championship should have been answering like De'Aaron Fox. Exactly. I don't know how all of them answered because I'm sure they were all asked. Right. But that is the answer. If I am Mike Brown watching this, that's exactly what I want to hear from De'Aaron Fox. I'm not tripping off. And again, he's young. Yeah. He can make the next Olympics, right? Steph and LeBron, they're about to sunset. So it's a little bit different. Yeah, but I did think it was a little weird that so many people, it was just wouldn't have strike me as a hot button topic for NBA Media Day.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting point you bring up about Noah Lyles and his comments and if that has anything to do with it, because I do kind of think that maybe it did. I think that, again, maybe it might be more media driven, but it feels like people do feel like Team USA, for whatever reason, needs to make a statement. I don't think that they really do. I think it's kind of crazy that we even care this. Like, I think spiritually, we all know that the best players come from the USA, and I don't know why they necessarily need to win a tournament every 2 years in order to validate that. But I think that it's pretty much just a media-driven narrative that's just it just doesn't need to happen right now. I mean, again, De'Aaron had the perfect answer. There's no reason why anybody on media day, the day before training camp starts, that you should be heavily even considering Team USA right now.
Right.
That's not the time.
No, I don't get that either. What it reminds me of, this whole Team USA thing, is if you ever played video games or even just real games with a younger sibling or a little cousin, whoever it is, and if they're the only person you have to play with, these are the days before online gaming, and you're clearly better than them, they're clearly younger than you, and you start to get a little bit bored. Yes. What do? You let them score a little bit to make it more exciting. I'm playing Madden. I'm playing the NCAA mascot game, and my little cousin, I don't feel like letting him beat me, but I'm tired of winning, every single game. Right. So I just happen to miss a tackle here. Exactly. I happen to press X instead of Y. Right. And now I'm down by 2 touchdowns and I can get a little work in. Exactly. I feel like that's what Team USA has been doing for the last couple years here. And now they have an excuse to call in the big dogs because some of y'all are talking smack. Yeah. And then Noah Lyles will, have to not retract his statements, but at least he can say, hey, I did this. I got these guys. Yeah, it was pretty good timing on your part because I didn't know his name before all this went down. Exactly. So good on them, but especially good on De'Aaron Fox for not really taking the bait, for lack of a better term, and just staying focused on what he truly wants, which is his first ring. Yeah, and I mean, to sidetrack everything that we just talked about, I mean, frankly, just as a blanket statement, I would love to see De'Aaron play for Team USA. Yes, and he will. He will eventually. But I really like what you said, and it's not something I thought about. I don't think this is the time for him either. Like, you don't want him to be Draymond Green on this Team USA team, and De'Aaron's obviously very capable of being productive on that team. But if Steph Curry's going to be there, if who knows, whatever, throw in another point, Damian Lillard will be there. Who knows? I mean, who knows? I mean, whoever's going to be there, De'Aaron is capable. I mean, you just saw Tyrese Halliburton lead this FIBA team. De'Aaron Fox is capable of leading one of these Team USA squads. Right. I think he should hold out for that. If he doesn't get that opportunity, I don't think he necessarily needs to do it. We were talking yesterday about superstardom. It would help his star presence, I think, to be a focal figure of Team USA, but I don't think he ultimately needs it to prove anything in his career. Like, I think he needs it to make sense for him if he's going to join the team. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know that, and the Olympics are different than
It
FIBA.
is,
To be
yeah.
fair, but I don't think anybody gained any. Well, they didn't win, but I don't think anybody gained any more notoriety. I don't think Tyrese Halliburton is any more of a household name now. Now, if they won
Austin
the
Reeves might
Olympics,
be, but-
Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is getting very close to. Is he actually as good as everybody
for sure.
talks about him? Which is hard to do because he is pretty darn good.
Pretty darn
but we do this thing
the
where
pendulum shifts.
Yes, it goes from underrated to overrated
really quickly,
expeditiously,
almost overnight.
Yes, overnight. So now all of a sudden the question is, man, I mean, is he overrated now? So you fight so hard to not be underrated anymore.
I know.
There's just no middle.
There isn't.
And I love playing that game.
Yeah.
Overrated, underrated, or properly rated.
Yeah.
There are not enough people that are just properly
especially
rated.
in the NBA,
Right.
where it's just such a polarizing league, and everyone, you know everyone's face. It's like everyone has such a strong opinion on everybody.
Right.
It's just really hard, especially if you are, one of the better players, for someone to just be like, no, he is this, but he also has deficiencies in this. And I think everyone kind of acknowledges no one really fits into that bucket perfectly.
And that gives me an excuse to hop back on the Brock Purdy situation because I think that Brock is skyrocketing to at least properly rated.
Yes.
But according to Niner fans, I mean, I turned on the TV today and they had Brock Purdy. A couple of them had Brock Purdy as their MVP choice. But if you ask a Niner fan, he's still
underrated,
terribly underrated. And I get it. It's still early,
right?
But it happens very fast.
It
and
does,
I guarantee you, if Brock goes out there on Sunday and does what he's been doing, there won't actually be underrated. We'll still be having them, but all these Niner fans are going to be talking to the wall. Yeah. Because I think at that point, everyone will say, okay, Brock is about that action.
Yes.
Maybe I was a little late to the party, but I'm not late anymore.
Well,
so
and then Tom Brady comparisons are going to happen, and all.
Because
then
there's no in
again,
between.
Pendulum shifting way too far to the other end.
Right. Is he Dan Marino?
Exactly. Or
Peyton
Tom Brady?
Manning,
Which one?
All combined.
Which one?
Just a mini Mahomes.
Yeah.
I've heard mini
They're
Mahomes.
going to do the Frankenstein of what Brock Purdy. He's the brain of Tom Brady, the arm of Joe Montana.
Right.
Yeah, all that stuff.
So, I think that De'Aaron Fox really did the right thing here. And I'm happy for the Kings. I thought it was a really good media day. And it's going to be a great season. It's going to be a great season. All right, got to get to a break. When we come back, crosstalk with the Drive guys, Whitey and Draper. It's Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
For 75 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and, many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 75th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Individual rates, coverage, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Hey, small business owner, when's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But some don't check their rate often. Did you know rates can vary? In fact, taking 3 minutes to check your rate with Pi Insurance could save you up to 30%. Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for you with no hassle or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could save you money. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We are back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins, joined by the Drive Guys, Whitey and Draper. How are you,
fellas?
What did you call us? That's right. That's right. How's it going?
It's good. It's going very well. Very exciting day, and we're obviously Kyle's been doing work here at the station for quite a while. And I guess today's your first official day.
Yeah, I had to go through HR and all that,
the
videos and the benefits and the sexual harassment training and all that. I had to go through all that today.
Stuff.
Well, we're lucky to have. I mean, I just got back here myself, but we're very lucky to have.
Thank you, man.
Sir.
I'm excited. Right time too, right? With the season about to tip off, and Niners doing well. So no, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, what are your expectations for the good old Kings?
I'm trying to decide, do I want to be the homer like my man Chris over here, or do I want to keep it real? No, I expect this team to win in between 48 to 50 games, second round playoffs minimum. I mean, that's how it has to be, right? Mm-hmm. You can't be a one and done, a flash in the pan after 17 years of not making the playoffs, ending that drought. You have to, follow it up. Because a lot of people around the league still think it's a fluke. Mm-hmm. A lot of fan bases still think, that was a fun, cute story. You guys were super healthy. So I'm expecting my Kings to come out strong, man, and 48 to 50 wins this season.
I like it.
Yeah,
I really like it.
I like it too. And we were looking at the preseason power rankings from The Ringer, and they had the Kings at 13, which we felt was a little bit low, but that happens with the Kings. And I think part of the reason that happens with the Kings is because if you look at all the title contenders, right, and I'm air quoting if you're listening to us right now, is that they all have that superstar, right? At least one. Because these days they got multiple.
Like the Grizzlies were way ahead of the Kings in those rankings.
Exactly. So looking at the Kings, is it De'Aaron Fox? Does he take that next leap? Or is it too much to overcome a Suns team or even a Mavericks team or the Warriors, whoever it is? Because I don't think that you can win a championship without at least one superstar. If you look at the last couple years, everyone's had one. Now, De'Aaron, we referenced 2014, 2015 when Steph essentially became one on the championship run. Maybe it's something like that, but I do think that somebody, and it's going to have to be De'Aaron, is going to have to elevate to get to that second leap. That first leap we've seen with the Grizzlies, we've seen other teams. That second leap is the one that separates people.
I think, Kyle, to that point, the X factor and all that from the Kings standpoint is Keegan Murray, who has a chance to start to approach that level, if maybe not get there this year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's the biggest thing. And we were talking about it earlier is the Kings really that second leap is going to come hand in hand with Keegan Murray taking another leap, because that's their guy. I mean, we were talking about, draft position and what that means for you. The Kings still not like, we took Keegan Murray 4th, and with that 4th pick means, we expect some tiptoeing on superstar level. And if that happens, to me, that's the unexpected leap that can be made, where people aren't seeing. They got the Kings at 13 in the power rankings right now. Right. They're not forecasting Keegan Murray making that leap. And if he can, to me, that's where they jump on everybody. And that makes them offensively, especially, just an absolute nightmare to go
unexpected
against.
by everybody except
the Kings, who are almost building it into their predictions.
But that would be
season.
quick, though. That would be quick to get to that level.
Yeah.
Now,
definitely,
just improving is one thing, but if we're basically saying creating their own big three, right, with De'Aaron, Sabonis, and now Keegan, that's not something we've seen very often besides, the Nuggets, but I think the Nuggets, they really
took them some time,
too. They took them time, and I think the Nuggets really only have 2.
I think nowadays you don't need a big 3. I think it's a big 2 nowadays. Sure, you can look at Phoenix doing what they're doing, but when you look at, you mentioned it, Denver, they're a big 2. You could say Milwaukee, a big 1.5, maybe something like that. Even when the Raptors won, they didn't have a big 3. And so I think that the days of having a big 3 are over. You look at Miami. Do they have a big 3? They made it all the way. The Celtics, did they have a big 3? Not really. They had their big 2. So I think you have a big 2.
That's why the Celtics are so scary right now.
Right. Because then they add in a Drew Holiday. But if you look at the Kings, is Sabonis really a big 2, part of a big 2, or does Keegan take that leap? Maybe you got a big 2.5 right now or something like that. And so we have talked about it. Keegan is definitely the key to this season, because if he goes from 12 to 19 or 20, then you got 3 guys averaging close to 20 or more points. Then you have a big 3, but you don't necessarily need that, though. You don't need 3 superstars. And you mentioned the Grizzlies earlier. De'Aaron Fox is just as good as Ja Morant, I think. He just isn't as flashy. He just doesn't get the pub. What is Ja Morant? He's done it on the big stage, obviously done it in the playoffs before, but I think De'Aaron Fox is trending in that way too.
Yeah, no, we were talking about it earlier. I think De'Aaron is better than Ja. There isn't a thing besides, like you say, the flashy plays or the highlight moments. There's nothing that Ja Morant does that I don't think De'Aaron can do. And if anything, I think De'Aaron is a lot better mentally. Like he's a lot better at picking and choosing his spots and knowing when to really assert his dominance. And to me, that's the biggest difference for them. But I think the Kings, where they can really have the advantage, we're talking about big 2s or big 3s. How about just the depth in general? There's not a lot of teams out there that realistically, Whitey keeps talking about they can realistically go 2 squads. Like they can go with a second group and a first group and still have some leftover guy. Like we were talking about who's going to be left out. There's potential, Kessler Edwards doesn't see minutes this year. There's potential, who knows? We were talking Trey Lyles earlier. If they're going to run 2 centers and Sasha's going to be their backup, the Kings have legitimate depth, and that could be where they make up some ground with not having that bona fide second guy, is with having, okay, maybe our 6th or 7th guy is significantly better than what you go to at that point.
Right. Now, so much of it has to do with health. Speaking of health, Allen, you're recovering from an Achilles injury.
I am,
big
sir.
time.
Okay. How far along are you?
June 21st was when I got the surgery. So I'm, about 4 months in, 3.5, 4 months in now.
Have you tried the Aaron Rodgers method yet?
No, it's too late. That would have had to be.
Well, about the Dolphins. You heard about the Dolphins?
Actually, you know what's funny about that?
I think we have. So we would just want to see if this. Kyle, do we have the Dolphin sound for? Yeah, to see if this makes you feel any better, because Aaron Rodgers says the sounds of the Dolphins.
What?
You didn't hear that? Yeah.
Thank
Aaron
you.
Rodgers says the sound of dolphins mating has healing properties.
I appreciate this.
So Kyle found.
I'm actually getting stronger by the minute.
We want to see if it did anything.
I'm gonna be able to go on a run after this.
Whitey, I can't read you.
No, this is real.
I wouldn't make that up.
No, this is real. My actually, Whitey, you got Whitey, you got beat to the joke because my physical therapist actually was playing it during one of my sessions.
You're lying.
No, really, he fired it up for one of the sessions.
I would want to look at his medical license.
Yeah.
I'm like to switch doctors.
It was only for a couple. It was only for what felt like a very long time, probably a couple seconds.
Our daughter is a marine biologist, and I asked her about this, and her only response was, Aaron Rodgers is a sorry excuse for a human. That was the only,
Wow.
that was the only response she had.
I don't even know what to say right now. Like, I can't.
Hey, Kyle, you could cut that off.
Yeah.
You know that, right? You ain't got to stick with that, bro.
Realize it was so is there some feedback going on? What is that? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
For you. We help it out.
No, thank you very much. I'm feeling good already. I got to do my stretches and stick on it and stick with it. And you know, I'll be back. I'll be back, Whitey. I'll be back on the court for sure.
This season.
All right, that was Stiles and Watkins. Thanks everybody for listening. Next up, the Drive Guys.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for